Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney. In every episode, I have a comic that I love that's going to be my guest on the show. Or else I put him on where we met in life somewhere. So we go from coast to coast. So without further ado, Eric is filling as my guest. How are you, pal?
I'm pretty good, sir. Good.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Forgot,
having me.
you're welcome. Forgot to tell you to tilt your camera down a little bit because I have
Oh,
most of the wall behind
okay. My bad. My bad. I didn't know if you're just trying to see more of this chocolationess.
you.
That's what you need, you know.
Yep.
Mm.
We got one viewer in the audience, so we're pretty excited.
That's thoughtful too. Yeah, I forgot to share the link. I think, yeah, I shared it like this morning and stuff like that. So that's on me,
It's
if
all
anything.
good.
Yeah.
Well, they went away, so we'll just talk to
they were like ill. Yeah, they just they saw us. Was like, oh, I'm good.
it happens.
Yeah.
Oh well. Oh man.
It's
But
awful.
it's all right. It's like sometimes, like a lot of people, like in my subscribers, they jump into the chat. It's like it's a whole lot of fun. But
Yeah.
yep, we'll focus on us, though.
Yeah, that's good. It's about us.
Yep, it's all
Yeah.
about us.
Yeah, it's
And
not
so,
about them.
Eric,
It's about us. Yeah.
take me on a journey of your comedy journey so far with like the venues that you ran. I mean, you put me on so many shows at the public house and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
all that
So
good
it's
stuff.
it's crazy you said. I was talking to some guy last night, like at a bar or something, like a sports bar, and he asked me how I get started in comedy, and it was like I worked at this tech job, and I was working. I think after hours, like they let me take my laptop home, and I went to this coffee shop. It was like the Tour Cafe, and I'm sitting there working, and I'm watching this guy just bomb on stage, and so I was like, "Oh, you guys do comedy here?" And they're like, "Yeah, but it typically sucks." So I was like, "Okay, well, I will try it." And that was like
Oh,
in '05, and so from there I just kept doing the tier, and then I've heard about Austin's Coffee. um so I went to Austin's Coffee, and I ran to a bunch of comedians and stuff there. Craig Nobert was not as lenient as people would think. He was definitely, I was trying to like even butt up to him, but he still put me in the back of the list. And so he still he, so people knew he would, like, if you go to Austin's Coffee and you sign up, Craig doesn't care. He just puts you at whatever order he thinks he just puts somebody at. So he'll put like two good people, somebody he just think is new that might suck, a couple new, like, then some other pros or whatever. He had mixed the list up. So since he didn't know me, I was always dead last.
oh.
Yeah, you know that feeling. See, Sareth knows this feeling
Mhm.
because typically sometimes when Craig's like, I'm feeling sick or whatever, or I just want to be at my family, he will have me host, have somebody else host. And if he has me host, I just go in order. So people like Saraf will show up because he knows he's not gonna get dogged out like that. Uh,
Indeed.
Yeah, no, you're like, yeah, like,
That's
yeah,
why I
but
show up whenever you host. I'm like, "Are you hosting today?" And then if you do, I'm like, "I'll show up."
yeah, a lot of people do that. Like, it's the reason why I don't even post on the comedy scene about me even hosting anymore, because not because like that right there, because I've had people get mad because I still follow the comedian rules of, like, if you're a working comic, I'll let you bump in, right? And we lost a comic because I bumped somebody in, and I didn't notice this comic deliberately was bumping in front of this other comic every mic he went to. So when I said, "Hey, this guy's bumping in front of you," he just got mad, mad at me. And this guy's pretty tame and smoke a lot of weed. So when I saw him get mad, I'm like, "Oh, okay." But typically I try to control it as best as possible. Um, so yeah, that's why I don't tell people that. But yeah, so from Austin's Coffee and everything, eventually, when Natira decided to, I guess, like, move me back to Sunday for hosting, I said I don't want to host on Sunday, so I'm just not gonna do this. And I started the Public House, which ran for a couple of years. And the Public House, of course, it's a nice establishment. It's right by UCF, but the catch is there's like, it's not a college bar, so they didn't even sell like domestic beers and stuff. You couldn't go there and get like a PBR or nothing like low class. So, you couldn't get like a Yinglings and nothing. You had to get, yeah, I know that sound like dingling. You couldn't get any of those domestic beverages. You had to get a high class beverage they had on they display, or they had on tap. They didn't have Yinglings on tap.
Oh, no more yinglings.
Yingling that must be a word in Cambodian. I don't know.
I wish it's like an American beer. So I'm like, I don't know where the yingling came from, but
I don't either. I swear to you, Sareth, I went to when it was new, right? When it first started, when I started seeing it in Orlando, um somebody hold on, I promise I gotta mute that real quick. So 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 I went to like a I went to like a Tijuana Flats. And the girl's like, "Will you want something to drink?" I was like, "I would like a yingling." She's like, she like leaning into it. She's like, "A dingaling?" I'm like, "Ew, no, I said yingling." You little college slut. It's just what?
oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah. So I guess when yingling started becoming more prominent, but that's like the only domestic beer I probably really would drink because it was quite delicious. But other than that, right there, I really. I just go to for the normal PBRs or whatever beverages and stuff. But yeah, so Public House, I did that for a while. It was great. Like I said, I had you on a couple of times at Public House. I try to follow the rule of if you've been on the show previously or if you said, "Hey, I want to be on this show," and don't show up, like, well, then you can't come back next month and go like, "Hey, remember me?" You're like, "No, if I sign you up and you show up, that's great." Yeah, but if but I did it every month. It was like the first Tuesday, I think, of every month. It was quite nice. So I had Marcus Crespo host me one time when I was my friend's bachelor party um, in Vegas. So as I was living it up in Vegas, their thing, Marcus Crespo hosted for me. So yeah. I mean, that's been and so as of late, since the pandemic hit, Public House shut down. They couldn't actually find a place to like I guess open up again. Everybody still thought there was a college bar. The city thought that, and they already had to deal with a lot of college bar s stuff going on. So I have not started any more shows. It's been a couple of years. In fact, I haven't started. I think it's back in like either the 2000. I think in like 2020 is when they officially stopped doing shows at Public House, and then eventually after that they like another year, so they closed down. Um, so no, I have not. I've been people ask me to like take over stuff, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not ready yet. So I prefer my slowly building up kind of time again. Because before the pandemic, I was doing things with bunkers and stuff, and like now that it slowed down a little bit, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take it easy, try to get my job situation under control and stuff, and that's what I was doing after the pandemic. So still the same as that thing.
I feel you on that one, dude. I don't like running any kind of rooms myself. Like I tried it and I'm like, I don't want to do this. It's just too much money lost, and
Mm.
I'm like, maybe I'm old and tired, but I just don't want to be committed to something for ever anymore. So
Yeah.
maybe it's something like, I don't know. It's a lot of work, dude.
I I I agree with you. I will panic like around a certain amount of time. I'm so stressed out because I want to put on the best show possible, and now that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like I know a lot of people run shows around town. There was I think who was it? Jari knows runs a lot of them, which he does a pretty good job with Patrick and everything. Like some of them that Jay Rico used to run, but he handed them off and stuff. So seeing like comics like hand off rooms and stuff, and to see people run these rooms and everything, I think that Gore is a new comic. He has an awesome room, right? So I don't know if you've been to the Wine Drunk that he has. He
I've
runs that.
been to support, but I haven't been on it. But I talked
Mm,
to not Thatcher, but I talked to Dylan, and
yeah,
he put me in the loop of like, all right, we'll make some room for you if got something. So
yeah. It's kind of tough to get on that one right there. So I mean, I've only done it like 2 times, but I had to kind of like press him a little bit. And it's like it's when I'm out somewhere, I've kind of just ask. I realize in the comedy world, you just can't like sit there and just like hope that they will put you on a show. You have to kind of ask. So and
yep,
I get
closed
that.
mouths don't get fed.
Oh yeah, that's true, right? I mean, I thought it was like I could just sit around like a girl and look cute, and they were just like, "Oh, you a comic? Would you like to be on?" Like, no, you have to ask. So I realized that. So it works out good. Like
Yep.
I haven't done more shows as of late, but I still like to go out on support and stuff. I still like to do open mics, and I still like support until I get, like I said, like a little more relaxed because my life's been quite stressful as of late. So
Oh,
it's
so
it's
you're
not like, yeah, I mean, this it's fine. There's a lot of stuff that I don't care telling people about. It's like a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but it's all good. Nobody would never know the wiser. So I've been telling people I'm trying to get things under control when it comes to like work and stuff. My job is very hectic. In other words, I will say.
I'd say I always see your stories. I'm like, this is so confusing. All this
Oh yeah, I'm a
coding.
super nerd. I've been, yeah, I'm in the tech field. I've been doing it for 20 years, so I'm Uber nerd. So yeah, that's what it is. I know my IG stories and stories like a very. Sometimes I know I'm like I post something like they're not gonna get this, but you know what? Forget it. I don't care. They're gonna post it anyway because I want to see people see what I do for a living, right? I remember I was like, I slid on some girls' DMs, and she's like, so what do you do for a living? I said, software development. She just ghosted me, and she just didn't reply back. And she's like, oh, you're a nerd,
Dang,
and she just never replied back.
that's
So,
so mean.
well, life is.
That's so true. But that's where, like, all the money is at, so you're not ever gonna have time for her or anything.
She understands. It's not like I'm a male stripper or something like that. You know where I'm at. I'm sitting in front of the computer all day. If I'm not at
Yeah.
CrossFit working my delicious titty meats, I'm sitting in front of the computer.
Speaking of titty meats, like, where did that all come from?
This is quite serious, right? I'm glad you say that, right? So back in the day, I've always, from the mature days, people just like when I just said the word titty, right? It was just delicious, plump, you know, fun, quite squeezable and stuff like that. I just like to say the word titty a lot. In fact, one of my chick friends, I did 5 minutes just talking about her titties. Just And I was like, she's gonna slap me. And she's like, here's my number. I'm like, oh, like, okay. I guess because this is back before all the real fancy social media. And then all of us would all hang out and stuff. So when the things started getting a little hectic, when the Me Too movement started happening, I've had to add meat at the end of that, so women wouldn't easily get offended. And so I wasn't talking about their titties. I was talking about mine. So when I first posted some with titty meats, I seen some girl with like short hair, like, how dare you sit and talk about women titties? I'm like, bitch, no, these are my meats. These is about my, this is about mine, not about yours. I mean, yours look nice as well, but I mean, like, these are about mine. So it made it more of a factor where like I had to stress people enough that, hey, this is about me. This is not about your titties. I love talking about your titties too, but times have changed, so I must talk about mines. And I don't know if things will come around where I can just openly sit on stage and talk about how much I love girls' titties again. I mean, times have changed, right?
Yeah.
But I could talk about my titties all day. So people seem like I'm obsessed with my own titties. I'm obsessed with yours too, bitch. I just can't. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is quite something. It is quite a thing. But yeah, that is something right there. Because back in the day, even from the Natura days, and I used to have like girls that were like knew I was going on stage, and they would sit on front. They would sit up front so I could flirt with them. This was before IG, so I was boosting morale like crazy. So like what I mean, there wasn't much dudes in the DM saying they look good and say they'll fly them out. It was just me going, "You look very scrumptious, and I like your titties." And they go, "Oh, thank you." I ordered them up just for you, Black Daddy. I'm like, "Thank you." And then we would just that back and forth would happen for a long time. Nothing, it would never go anywhere. And then they would show up the next week. So it was something, yeah. And then I had to learn not to just talk about one girl and say all y'all titties are beautiful. They're like, okay, because And so now it's like, okay, my titty meats are scrumptious, and girls go, what about mine? I'm like, I don't know, bitch, I don't get canceled. So, so that is the way I keep it. So it's weird. So,
With like,
yeah, I have a titty meat shirt. I wish I would have. Yeah.
Yeah. But titty meats across the chest.
Yeah, have you seen the old things back in the 90s where they had the pants or the jeans where they had the handprints? They had so you could it's like a place where you just palm both your hands on these booty meats. Yeah, it was like I should have that. But I did get somebody to make me a titty meat shirt. So I have one. It's not like it looks like a basketball jersey in a sense, but I have one. Oh. So yeah, so that's essentially what's all the titty meat juiciness is, and it's weird. I slowed down on it a lot, but I reshare some of my old posts. And wherever I go now, I went to a family reunion. You know how black people get down. I'm at the barbecue. They go, look at old Mr. Old Titty Meat over there. I'm like, oh. I was at my high school reunion, 25th reunion. They were like, oh, look at, oh, is it old Titty Meat? I'm like, they're like, we know you over there, Mr. Titty Meat. I'm like, okay, so I guess that has an effect on people. I know you like to say it. Folks, if you don't know, I have a soundboard of people just saying titty meat. And Sareth was one of the first ones. I was like, I gotta make this a thing. So I could just go through. We just had different people saying titty meat. I think Mike Charette was one of the first. And then after that right there, I think you was just the one who just said it. And then Roberto Font, a mini. So we have a lot of people saying titty meat. If we have people on the show that wants to say that, I'll put them part of the soundboard. Yeah.
It was such a good time to say titty meats on there.
I know. You just said it, and it was just like so. You said it with passion. Like you locked eyes with me and said it. Like we had a connection. And you're like.
It's contagious. It's so fun to say.
Yeah, I know. I mean, trust me, I get it. Like I love saying titty, but titty meats became the next best thing. And now it's just like people can say that nonchalantly, and it's great. And trust me. And by the way, like it's funny because like when I go to the gym, they go, "Oh, you got such amazing upper body strength." I'm like, "Don't think me. Think those meats." Just they go like, "Oh, you could do handstand push-ups but you can barely run." I was like, "My titty meats are immaculate. It's my legs that sucks."
And I think it was like on Ash Cash's post or something. I called you Mayor of Meats or something or somebody.
Yeah. I think those Latino comedy scene girls are like, they not. I hope they get the full context. The Mayor of Meats. Yeah, when you say that, I'm like, first off, that's pretty funny because I've never thought that. I never thought that at all. So it's always been, yeah. So that was funny. So like, I like the fact you called me that now. It's like it's not like but I hope people understand that. But I think most people see my titty meat posts. I worry about that because like even I've added some new coworkers to my social media, and they see my titty meat post and they don't know what it's really about. They're confused.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. I have like no shame because like when I see like a titty meats post, like I'll tag your name and put hashtag titty meats.
Yeah, every time. Look, Sareth tags me a lot of not safe for work stuff, so I have to make sure. Look, I've been working remote as of late, but man, when I was in the office, Sareth, I had to wait till later. I don't know what you had going on, but it's always had something to do with titties, and it's always been great.
I just hashtag you on X now, and I can lay off the Facebook.
Yeah, that is true though. Like so, yeah, I did that with my cousin too. I tag him on stuff, but yeah, it's funny when you tag me and things. I'm like, it's always some woman titties are bouncing or something smashing a watermelon with a titty or something. And it's like it's always something with a titty. So like it is fine. And it's funny you say that because every time like even my chick friends, they try to like send me one of their friends. They're like, she got big titties. I'm like, bitch, like you think that's but that's my fault, right? I'll talk about how much I love titties so much that people don't realize I love all kinds, and they don't just understand. Like they give me little cupcake titties, I'm fine with those. They just assume like some girls like, well, you don't like me because I got little cupcake titties. Like it's not true. I don't know who told you that. Your titties are beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
The revolution for sure with those.
Yeah, you did. That's like, but you always been funny. But I would love to be in a meeting one day and I'm just open this up from Sareth. I just haven't had the courage to do it. Now that I work from home, I don't care. I'm like, titty away, my friend. But
indeed. Yeah, but there's a joke that I do on stage now that pays homage to you, and it's like I talk about like Demi Moore in the movie Ghost, and like how there's like an entity, and I call it Antitty Meats.
Yeah, I wish I was Patrick Swayze just grabbing those boobs one last time.
Oh man, too many puns in that joke, but I love it. It's like this is my hello to Eric from the stage. But
yeah, I it's funny. We all have something, right? I have one that I kind of pay homage to Genesis, who passed away, right? I did one of my jokes. I go, "Do you season these yourself?" And I go, "Yes," and that pays homage to Genesis. Not even to like, because his joke's completely different. And that's what the thing. When people think I'm trying to steal jokes and stuff, but his is about his penis, and mine is about my juicy black lips. Both can be kissed.
Oh man. And I think
Yeah,
that's what, like, it's kind of like a basketball player at the free throw line, when they make like a hand signal to the TV to like say,
yeah.
hello to their family or whatever. It's
Mm,
like that's our way of saying we appreciate you, we respect you, and like,
yeah.
I miss Genesis so much. Like when he was at Austin's, like that's like almost every
Yeah.
time I went, I always saw him there. And
Mm.
after I had to get off stage, he'd be like, "Seth, you're dirtier than I am," and I'm like, "That's some serious
That's yes.
honor."
I know that was the thing. That was like, and if it was like us lying down, I'm like, this is gonna get super nasty really fast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, with Genesis, same as that thing, right? Like he would go to the public house, and it's like one of the bartenders would be like, ask like, when are you bringing back Genesis? Because Genesis will flirt with her.
Yeah.
And she likes his jokes about him going down on women and everything. She loves those jokes and everything. So she was just like, when is Genesis coming back? And I'm like, look, I do it every other week, woman. You just can't just have Genesis every week flirt with
Yeah.
you about your fucking eating your snatch and complimenting your fucking beautiful face. You have to, and that's the weird thing, right? Because like I've read the shows like that, you always get input from people. At one point, she was like, "You don't have any women." I'm like, Jerry Seinfeld's like, they don't really ask. So like, I'm like, oops. So I started making sure I had like a woman on every show or something. That was another stressful thing. They had that's why like Amy LaCour was like, oh, thank you for putting me. I was like, I just had to make sure you was good.
Yeah.
And then I'll put you on. I'm not gonna just like, I don't know, put you on and just like, put you on the couch and massage your shoulders like you want to be on Public House. That's I have pride in never doing that. But I look back, I wish I
Same.
would have.
I'm
I
like,
wish, mm,
I need like pretty much, well, like except for this new Daytona one, because like we're like in this group chat. It's like I have to pick the roster from that group chat, and like
mm,
all I could do is like find dudes, and I'm like, this. It's mostly Daytona dudes, and I'm like,
mm,
and because like I had tried to get Michelle Keith to go on,
mm.
but she's already booking and producing shows at Chrissy B on Friday nights. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just put dudes here. But then what I'm doing instead of like putting ladies on, like there's like ladies that are needing help right now, and so
Mm.
we're gonna raise funds for them instead. So there are seventh and eighth person. So instead,
Fair
I kept
enough.
the I kept the short list like to six people, so we can do about 20 minutes each.
Yeah.
So because like
I
it's
just
rare to find rooms where we can do more than like five or seven or at a time. It's like how are we supposed to get good if we can't do like
yeah.
make it like Legos, like stack our jokes properly and whatever. But
This is true. This is true. Like I've so to do stuff like that, you have to go to like I guess certain rooms that's kind of newer that you could just kind of just practice. Like, well, you go to like the Falcon, right? I think you could do more time at the Falcon, right? They give you like 10 minutes or so, or you can do um like Grumpy's probably. I think Grumpy's is pretty good at giving you more time if it looks kind of lax. But it's been Grumpy's is starting to grow now because we got a lot of new comedians that are ready to go there, instead. So it's but that's Orlando, right? I mean, we get a lot of practice over here. We have a lot of rooms to practice and stuff in. So I've seen you. I think like on a Saturday sometimes. If you're lucky, you can do 2 or 3 shows a night. But
mhm.
there's sometimes a don't tell, and you can do Milk District, and you could do shit sandwich showcase. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
them. Mm.
I miss that old school Saturday night where it's because like I like Drunken Monkey and then Bush and then Sleuths. That
Yeah, I
was a
remember that
fun
too.
run. Yeah,
That was nice. Yeah, I done that route too. I worked on a new joke that whole night. It's just tried a new joke at Drunken Monkey, tried it again at Shit Sandwich, and then went over to Sleuths and see if I could hammer out the last details of it. So, but it was fun. I mean, I miss doing stuff like that too. So,
big time. I just
mm,
did this like a couple Mondays ago with like Grumpy's, the Battle Spot, and the other bar. So
mm.
it was fun. Like Kevin didn't thought I was 18 years old.
Yeah, that's true. When I learned with like in the same age group, I'm like, damn.
And I'm like, I'm so old. It's like it's not even funny. It's like
That's good. That's good. You can catch a lot of people off guard with that. I don't know. I've been about my old job. One of my old jobs, something I used to go to this bar. It used to be like a barbecue place, and I turned it into like a college bar. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, right? And I went there like I'm like, why is all these college kids bothering me? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a college bar now. And like, I stopped going there instantly because they're like, I just couldn't stand it. I just realized that wasn't my crowd, but I guess I kind of like I didn't want to be the old dude at the club. I didn't realize it was turning into like a nightclub at some point. Saying like I'm like, oof.
They're
So
so
yeah, I get
woke.
that.
They're quite woke. I mean, that's why like I rarely go to like. No offense to like Austin's, I know you host it, but sometimes they don't laugh at you because you're too gross. You know?
Well, I thought the college kids probably would get that too, but yeah, I tried to balance right because I remember one time, I've been told I was too gross. Right, I told I was very gross, so I work no clean jokes. So I have a clean set. It's not as long as my nastier set. When I talk about juicy dick pics and stuff, but but I do have you heard some of my jokes before, but yeah, but I do have like standard run of the mill jokes that I can tell that's not so crazy. And then if you go to St. Cloud's, like anything about biracial stuff is out because they always like it's a lot of white people there. It's very conservative country, so you can tell racist stuff, but you can't talk about I don't know like some white chick liking me or something. Going on a date with a white chick, they
Yeah.
disapprove that. So
Oh man, we
yeah,
battled Winter Haven out there, and
yeah.
because that versus battle,
Mm-hmm.
and they as soon as they announced that we were from Daytona Beach, they were not liking us at all, and then we were just dead in the water. So
Mm.
we lost to Winter
Dude,
Haven.
we barely won. We barely won the Orlando versus Winter Haven because it seemed like it kind of stacked it in a sense. Like one girl was like, by the way, I'm from Gainesville or whatever, but my boyfriend works here, and they're like, woo. I'm like, so they kept saying where they was from, so people knew who to cheer for. And if it wasn't for Patrick, like I like one of our last guys, because they put me against some African dude. I can't remember his name. He's a pretty cool dude, but like I mean, but I called him an African booty scratcher outside. I'm like, fuck you. I'm still American, you African piece of shit.
Oh,
If you understand, like it's not like as like I'm, as an African American, I don't like Africans because this is true. I don't. But I mean, but it's only because I lost. It's only because I lost that thing. The guy's really cool, and the guy's really cool. But I was like, okay, this is upsetting. And then even Ash Cash was like, oh, he's really good. I'm like, oh, how dare you? We're supposed to both be Caribbean, you piece of shit. How would you? We're both tropical, bubblicious peoples, and you take it up for this African.
was it Rashad?
No, it wasn't Rashad Baker. Baker's my cousin, and I love him dearly.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
just as African American as me. And it was I can't remember his name. It wasn't like Rudy. It's the other African dude other than Rudy.
Mm.
I can't remember his name, but it'll come to me at some point. But he's very funny as well. I mean, I do respect the guy, but it was just, he was like good because he beat me. So he's like, "Good job, man." I was like, "You African, you got." I was being extremely racist. I will tell you that much. I didn't know I had it in me, but I guess I did. Being raised
Yeah.
in the South, I guess, does that to you.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah, I lost
Yeah,
to Joe Lamons and like, oh well, that happens.
yeah, and it just kind of sucks. But it's I think they got to just do that versus battle thing just a lot differently. Because I watched Amir Schumann like lose to somebody that know they should have lost because they were so unprofessional. They went on stage, they had they like joke book or whatever, they phone out or something. They was reading from their phone, and then Amir like lost to that, and I'm like, that is crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
that is completely crazy. So I think it just have to be. Well, I get that you can. They have to put it in certain places, but they legit stacked the crowd. So. And they still lost, y'all pieces of shit. So that's
Yeah,
good. You stacked the crowd and you lost anyway. I should explain something about your fans.
pretty much.
Mm,
Oh man. But like I like our first victory against Melbourne was like totally worth it. It was like
mm,
because Robinson was like talking crap about us on his podcast, because like there's like no headliners in Daytona, and he was just
mm,
like keeping on us, and I'm like, ooh, that lit a fire under me. Like, and then they put
mm.
me against Brian Milligan, and I'm like, I'm 11 years in, he's like 2 years in. I'm like, it wasn't
Mm,
even fair, but
yeah.
I just like demolished, like,
He go, yeah, he's like, get ready to hit about some turtle jokes, motherfucker. I'm ready.
pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know who it was massaging your shoulders in the corner there, but I'm like, yeah, go get him.
Pretty much. I was like, Yeah, to Mac. I was gonna. Oh, I was so angry at that podcast. And then what the funny thing was, like they rented out a Mercedes Sprinter van, and they all rolled up together,
Mm,
trying to show off. And like if we learned how if we knew how to drive motorcycles, we would have pulled up into motorcycles, But
that's
we
true. Yeah,
didn't.
you as Daytona, so I guess that's got to be a thing, right? You gotta like have y'all certain style. I don't know what Orlando would do this. I guess it could be kind of bougie or something. We should all. I don't know if we should wear like jumpsuits or something like that, or just be something very dapper. But I
Like a
figure
party
Orlando should have.
bus, like have
Yep.
Alex Soto pick you up.
Yeah, the motherfucker know how to get down. Yes, this is true. So yeah, so I understand that. Yeah, but I think next time we do something, we should definitely have like a theme or something like that that go along with us. Maybe if you're not gonna wear, you can wear like a Harley Davidson jacket or something, I guess, right? Or a biker jacket, something along those lines. If we go to a theme,
Absolutely.
like the
And
dodgeball
so
movie, right? We just have a.
it would make more sense. Like I don't know, like and then they recorded their podcast on the way home,
mm,
the Chris Robinson's podcast, and they
mm.
were so mad at us.
Well, that was rightfully that was deserved. Well, like I said though, it's one of those things where like I'm happy that you guys was like on a fair, like I guess because he was in Daytona, right?
Mad
What do you
Caps
got?
was at Mad Caps.
Oh, Madcaps. Okay, that wasn't like. I guess that's like Daytona adjacent, so it's not too terrible in a sense.
Same
But yeah,
counties though.
yeah,
But yep. I mean, we were about to lose because like the first two comics were just messing around. I'm like, what are you doing? Like they
y-
talk crap about us, and this is why they make fun of us. It's
mm,
like because of this baloney. It's like that comic with the phone, and
yeah,
then like a lot of the others, took it seriously. We were up, like we were down like 3-1 or something, and
mm,
then we ended up beating them 4-5 or 5-4.
yeah. That's what it was with us. We've won by 1 point too, but I'm still upset. and like, and I had my friend came out and support me. I'm like motherfucker, clap. What are you doing? Why are you just sitting there just laughing? just
Where was this competition at that you
This
had?
was at LOL in Winter Haven. That's what I'm saying. So like I'm like once again, I'm not too bent out of shape that we almost like lost. I just hate the fact that we almost lost because like we could see that it was tilted heavily. And
Yeah.
they like, "Did anybody want to do another room?" I'm like, yeah, as long as the comedian's not fucking the bartender, I would do it all day. That was,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, as long as she's not getting her back blown up by a bartender, I'm fine with it.
And I know who you're talking about too, because she made the most noise at the Winter Haven versus Daytona battle. So I'm like, oh, I know who you're talking about. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I know you're getting dicks dunked in your mouth and anything. You don't have to go and say that shit.
hey, you said it. I'm like, and then
what,
what they invited us to the wedding. I'm like, I can't make it. Like, but
yeah,
I'm like, I can't. I just
at least you got invited to the wedding. I was just right there in front of this guy. I was like, I forgot it was even him. I was like, man, this shit's rigged. This chick right here talking about fucking her boyfriend. He's like, another drink? I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was you she was talking about. Man, this shit's rigged. Well,
like
okay, well, fine. Well,
yeah,
that's yeah, whatever works. I'm happy for them. Either way you look at it, I'm happy they lost, and I'm happy they got married.
yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. And then Jari was like in the Orlando group saying, "All right, whoever we didn't get to face, we want a battle." So I'm like, looks like there's gonna be a Daytona versus Orlando battle soon. So we'll see
Mm.
how that goes. But
I would like that. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
because I got it, and it's fun too. Jar runs a couple of rooms I've been trying to get back on and stuff like that. Once I've, you know, so he knows I'm busy as well. But I would love to be able to like jump back on some of the Jar stuff. He was the one to help me get on the Orlando versus Winter Haven. And I'm so thankful because my cousin Rashad wasn't in the Winter Haven one. I guess he just didn't want to do it
mm,
because he lives up the road. So that's the thing. Because sometimes my cousin Rashad will come stay in my guest room. If he have a show that's like really far away. If it's like an hour drive, he doesn't care. But if it's a 2 hour drive, he'd just rather stay in my guest room, which is fine. I'm okay with that.
yeah.
So yeah, but
So
he's a fun guy.
he
Yeah,
is a
I've been
fun
doing it
guy.
longer than him, obviously. But when he started, he just did really good. And sometimes I jump on as a guest spot. If it's really close or something, I jump on as a guest spot with him.
That's what's up, dude.
Mm, mm,
Yep. Hopefully we battle in Stanford so that way it's like an equal distance or something. It'd be fun.
mm.
Like at
Yeah,
Tuffy's
Sanford.
or
Mm.
West End or something.
Who
Yep.
knows? Who knows? I would like to. I'd be like, I'll still like either be on that show or come out of support if I can.
Yeah.
It's just
Because
mainly because I like you guys. I like the Daytona people as well. A lot more than people will actually fathom. I mean, I know some of the want to hit people, but mainly just because it's my cousin. But I really, really like the Daytona people. I used to go to Tiernog a lot before I started, working crazy hours and going to the gym early in the morning. So now that I go to the gym like 5 o'clock in the morning, it's kind of crazy. Well, I get up 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym at 6. And my whole day is open to be able to work. So
Dang.
it's the only way I can try to stay this thickalicious and get work done. If I don't, I look like another professor with dreads. I have to make sure I put in the work. So the meats have to be worked. It's sad but true. So
For sure. So you have like on your offensive line podcast, like what inspired you to put Winnie the Pooh in like random spots?
I like this. So it's funny you say that, right? So there was one point in time because we started doing artwork, and one point in time we talked about how certain people would bow down to China, and we've had like a listener in China, so it was like this one because the guy in China banned Winnie the Pooh. He's like you cannot be calling me Winnie the Pooh. You can't put Winnie the Pooh in anything, and then so we realized that what WWE was kind of like going there, but they, I think, there's certain things you couldn't do. There was no LBGT, like gay things you couldn't do and stuff. So they censored even some of the games I play, so that way it goes over to China. So we heard about this stuff, right? It was like this guy he says they outlaw Winnie the Pooh. We're gonna put Winnie the Pooh in this artwork right here. And we made him big, and we had like a Chinese flag in the background. That one China listener just like disappeared. So at that point, he might have got killed. I don't know what happened to him. But that one little dot we had in China, it was gone. So at that point, I'm like, so me and Zach was like, we just got to keep it going. So we just kept doing it. Like, so in every artwork, if you look, like you will find a Winnie the Pooh somewhere. And even in the ads we do, there's like a Winnie the Pooh there, and that's the reason why we just kept this gimmick going from the Xi Jinping or whatever the Chinese president is or whatever. It's not like we hate communists or whatever. We just thought it was stupid. We just kept going. We just kept it going. I can promise you. I mean, I'm quite sure I would get arrested on sight if I land in China. So, but I love their food. I would tell them that much. Y'all beef and broccolis are delicious. Y'all Mugu got pans. Those are egg drop souplets. So, but no, before you send them to that slave camp, they make those big rocks on the small rocks. I think y'all food is delicious.
Good stuff. I was always wondering about why you put Winnie the Pooh everywhere. It's hilarious.
It's always been a thing. And it's funny because the first couple of years, we just didn't care. Like, I mean, we didn't even do artwork. So then after a while, it's like I noticed when we was uploading things, we can do artwork. I was like, well, let me try this right here. And I just try to I tinker with it a little bit. I mean, I started getting a little bit at Photoshop. By the way, it's not on my resume at all. Nobody know I could do Photoshop. When people ask me about stuff, I was like, I don't know how to do that shit. But yeah, but for this right here in particular, and also like when it came to like what I did, I learned Photoshop mainly because like when they do like flyers for my show, like Public House and stuff. And they gave me like the Photoshop file and I could go through and change the names on it and stuff like that. And then I just got a little more fancier with it too. But yeah, so that's just been a thing now.
For sure. Good to know.
Mm.
So I think we tackled everything. Like, how did you get involved with Austin's? Like how did you start booking Austin's and not booking, but
Hosting?
co-hosting? Yeah.
So it's funny. I think that the guy there, Sean, likes me hosting there. So, because so it was me for a long time, and then because this is like a long time ago, and then Akeem Woods will host there. So a long time ago, it's like people were like, well, Erick like hit on women, and then at one point, they actually had Akeem Woods, and here's the funny thing about it: Akeem Woods like to hit on men, and so yeah, so it was like a weird mix, right? So by the time Akeem Woods moved, and this is not a knock Akeem Woods, I'm glad he did it because I was like, this is fun. Guys don't get complimented as much, so when Akeem Woods did it, they know he meant it. Even in front of their girlfriends, he didn't give a shit. He was like, let me talk about how beautiful you are.
Yeah. He's always going after the twinks too. It's like
Yeah, he's loved, but I'm talking about, and I'm glad Akeem Woods, because a long time ago, Akeem Woods didn't even mention he was gay. When he came out as gay, he's been getting in all that dick. He's having so much fun now. I'm happy for him. But that was the fun thing too, when he was just hitting on dudes at Austin. So at one point, like Akeem moved, and then they started asking me, like they rotated people out. They asked like Marty and like a couple other people, close in Orlando. But mainly Sean really liked me. So like when it came down to it, um, they would ask me and everything. But I'm like, sometimes like ask other people too. You don't have to always ask me. You can ask there's the newer guys now you can ask. So they doing that too. But when I do host, I mean, I try not to get too messed up. And I make sure I tip well too. I always try to tip well and everything. So they do give me free beverages. Sometimes I just take over. Sometimes I'm just playing my video game in a corner by some college student and destroying their life with student loan debts. And I'm just sitting beside them and I'm playing a video game. And then Craig asked me to take over. So it's a long ways from actually being last on the list to be able to still being last on the list by taking over hosting for him. Well, he get to go home and tuck his kids in and shit. So it's beautiful.
Speaking of being last on the list, like I remember going there on Copper Rocket with my buddy Harry, and then like there was like no more room left, so I'm like, just give Harry the spot, and I'll come here next time. And it was like three. He did 3 minutes or whatever, and you're like, yeah, come back, and I'll put you on Public House. And then it was like, oh, he's moving to Chicago, so there was like no point in doing that. So,
yeah.
But thanks for putting him on, though. It was pretty nice of you.
It's very tough. Yeah, it's to juggle all those things. Like once again, I did hosting for Ross McCoy for Bullenbush on the open mic on Wednesday, and here's the thing. I wish he would have done this, because he posted the picture of me in the group. He's like, "Your host is Eric." And by the way, this is my high school picture when I had like permed out hair and stuff, Sareth. So he said, "Your host is Erick Feiling." I was wondering why he asked. I was like, "Sure, Ross, I would love to. I understand you want to stay home with your family. I'll do that for you." Then he posted my high school senior picture in that group, and I was like, "This is not gonna be good," because everybody know I'm hosting, so people loving out. So now everybody came out, and now I promised one of my friends I would hang out with them on Saturday when I should be mowing my grass. So he messaged me not too long ago. I'm like, "Oh, I keep forgetting I've." Like, of course. So that's the thing. So like when people know that I'm hosting, they know they get a fair shot. And I still had to like do 3 minutes or whatever, 3 or 4 minutes, and then cut it down to 3 minutes, and then cut it down to 2 minutes and stuff to try to get everybody on stage. It's terrible, man. I can tell you sometimes I love hosting, but I hate how people want to get on stage and how it makes them feel. So I legit seen one guy a long time ago cry. I was like, I didn't see you. I skipped you. Whatever. You came back last minute. I closed the show. He was like, he started crying. I'm like, what the fuck are you crying? I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, you crying? Like, what you want me to do? I'm like, it's like there's 20 little mics in Orlando. Like, just like it's why are we crying? And so that sticks with me a lot. So a lot of things stick with me, like trying to remember people's names. Like trying to make sure people get on stage in time. When I bump somebody in, I try to be respectful. I go to the person and let them know that, hey, you're getting bumped by this person. Is that okay? I'm just letting you know. Everything just from trial and error. So it is ridiculous. it is when it comes to hosting. So I want you to know that personally, that I hate it, but I love it for that reason. So
I'll ask you off the record who the crier was, because it's rough. Like especially in big towns, like. It's so hard to get everyone 5 minutes, especially when everyone wants to be a comic nowadays. It's like,
yeah, it's the fun thing. I don't even remember who the crier was. I'm like, I don't even remember the guy.
Oh dang.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, trust me, if I knew, but like I know how tough it is. I mean, like, yeah, in Orlando we're lucky because we got like open mic or whatever, or a showcase every day of the week, essentially, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that runs them and stuff. I mean, so. It is doable. If you do good enough, you eventually get in some of these spots. I've seen a lot of guys that's been doing it for like a year or two and eventually get into those spots. But some of the old school comics, like I think Charlie Boy or whatever, for example, right? I mean, he wouldn't even talk to new comics if they've been in for like a couple of months. He'd give you like a year or so before he even talk to you. So yeah. So, but I talk to everybody. So it sucks because they come talk to me and I tell them, like, don't workshop jokes on me. Well, what are you doing? But I mean, at the same exact time, it's like I would talk to you like a normal person. I love when somebody go, let me try my little racist joke when I say the N word. I'm like, oh, go ahead. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. And they try it anyway. I'm like, I'm like, okay, you know. But I've learned that from I guess you call it the Godfather of Orlando comedies, right? Ken Miller and Mike Hurley. He would talk a lot, and he would just like I see them nonchalantly. They just talk back and forth like he's like, this is a joke I'm trying. All right, and so I've got that respect with like somebody want to try like an edgy joke. I'm like, if you want to say something, you can run it by me, but I'm gonna tell you if people not gonna like it or not,
Yeah.
and that's fine. You
There's
know,
only
like, you
one
don't
way
have to
to
believe
find.
me. Yeah,
There's one way to find out. You know, it's
there's
like,
one way to find out, but like you tell me, I'm like, look, that's a lot. You know what I mean? But it's like if it's good, like sometimes somebody might be doing something edgy or whatever, and it's just me in the background, like in the back of the office, like Mr. Miyagi just nodding. I'm like, go on in, give it that. You know what you got to do.
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Eric, I want to update your answers from the first time I interviewed you, like way back when.
Mm.
So like with that being said, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
Want to spot me? Do stand-up comedy or?
Yep. And I know that we talked about it earlier. You were at like the Ventura Coffee House or
Yeah,
whatever in
yeah,
a long
Detroit
time ago.
Coffee. Yeah, what
Yeah.
inspired me? Like a long time ago, I think it would probably be Dave Chappelle mainly inspired me. I thought it was funny how he did. That's I think I seen like the Killing Me Softly. I didn't even see it. I've heard it on MP3, and I was like, this inspired me a lot. But like when I had friends when we eventually, because I was very like I was an introvert. And then once you get to know me, obviously I started talking to people a lot, and I was like through through school in general. So when I realized, and also like I was in my technical field that I work in, I would get ran over a lot. So I was like, I need to be able to like be able to talk to people without just like having some sales guy go, yeah, sure, we'll put this in a new thing, and it's just me in the corner like looking down. So now not only I could tell them no, but I could tell them no in a very funny way. So it helped me come on my show and be able to talk to people more, and that's one of the reasons why I did it. But also at the same time, I was inspired by like Chappelle and stuff, like Eddie Murphy and everything. But that's like the old school stuff. But Chappelle was mainly the one that really inspired me.
For sure.
Mm.
I've been, I forgot there were some audience members in the audience watching. So if you'd like to interact in the chat, feel free to, um, and all that good stuff. Just be nice to us, or else be mean. I don't care anymore.
I like that too.
Just so yeah, Chappelle. Like I got to see him when it was at the Amway or slash Kia Center, and like again, I didn't want to pay that much to see him, so I spent
Mhm.
like the lowest amount, and I went at the very top of the nosebleeds just to watch him, and I just saw a big old screen instead. I was like,
Yeah,
well, this is fun. But they gave us like some Chappelle tote bags, so for free, so I got to have a Chappelle tote bag.
that is thoughtful. My wife friends like we're going to see Chappelle. Me and my wife is going to see Chappelle tonight. I'm like, oh. You know what I'm saying though? They was like they're very inspired. I mean, they very like white liberal esque people too, so they're very wholesome.
Very wholesome.
Yeah, they're very wholesome white people. But yeah, my friend, like there was certain things like because he used to be my roommate a long time ago when I first moved to Orlando, before I even started doing comedy. And the thing was like he would wait for like for the Chappelle show to come on, or wait for the Boondocks, the animated series or whatever. Um, he would wait for me to be home so that way you could watch it. I'm like, you can watch this without me. He's like, but no, when they, well, I feel safe with you here. And I'm like, whatever, white dude. Like, I
I
know you feel comfortable with me.
I still quote that show to this day. It's like it's such a classic sketch show. So,
Yeah, it's
um,
really good.
and what was it feeling like when you first performed stand up?
Scary, scary. I was extremely drunk, and that's the way it's been for years. I've always had to get like messed up, and the sad thing is like I did that. I would get drunk like a lot and go on stage because it was like the liquid courage I needed. But after a while, like sometimes you couldn't even hear what I was saying. I was just like slurring. So the later it was me, the worse I would be. So he had like, so you had to put me like in, like you couldn't put me quite in the beginning, but you had to put me like right in the middle. So like I was comfortable, liqueur beverages in, and so I was good. But yeah, after a while I just had to like learn to slow down my talking and stuff and things like that. Yeah, but it was scary. So that's the thing about it. I've had to overcome those fears, and I can't get drunk at work and be funny. I had to learn how to just like be like take my feelings and just make sure I can just have those off stage as well. So
Indeed. Damn yangling
The
dingalings.
the dingalingles, yes, the yingalingles.
So we spoke about Chappelle, and so and killing him softly and stuff. And like, what are some of your other favorite comedy specials, comedy record albums, and comedy podcasts?
I will always say my favorite one was the George Carlin one. He's one of the last ones he did on HBO before he passed away. I remember going to my friend's house and everything. Well, his apartment back in the day. He was a Full Sail kid. He's like, I want to invite you to my house and stuff. We had watched George Carlin, and it was good because George Carlin got very political towards the end of it. Now that really inspired me. But I like different kinds. I like Run White is also one that's good because it's like bluegrass. So I try to be diverse when it comes to the stuff I like. There's it's very tough now because I try to watch certain comics, like even lady comics and everything, try to like get a good grasp of things. But I I mainly just find like Tim Dillon and stuff like that. Like there's certain comics that you got to be like kind of shocking to make me laugh. I think I'm like more of that old school like Martin Lawrence kind of like in your face laughter than the stuff that kind of make you think because I'm just a simpleton. But Chappelle does it in such a way where it's you listen back to a couple of times over, you will get it right. Like so, it's like even there's like different tiers and levels to it. And he talks about like the Me Too stuff and the LGBT stuff and everything. And a lot of people get offended and upset about it, but when you listen back to it, like there was some truth to it. So I was like, okay, I get it. People might always have to agree with him, but I understand. So like one of his famous sketches about Trump when he talked about how Trump was like this whole system was rigged, and he goes, "Oh, how so?" And he explains how the system was rigged, and just stuff like that. Like he did it as he formatted it well. So even if what side of the political aisle you spectrum you're on, you would still understand it. So it was crazy, and they couldn't cancel him, by the way, which is kind of funny. He didn't care. You still had like another next full special after the next, and like he never changed who he was. I mean, there were some people that had to kind of like change who they were. Even I did. That surprisingly, right? So he's the only one who's like, I'm just gonna stick to it.
For sure.
Mm,
If I'll like you said, like we're both like a lot alike, where like we have so
mm,
much dirty material, but like a little bit of clean material, and
mm,
so I think we have like 7 to 10, and Ash Cash and I did a black church together in Melbourne, and
mm,
like I opened up, God is good all the time, and then they said all the time God is good, and because like the lady before me said, you know, the word for poop, but the other curse word,
mm,
and she scared the crap out of all the black church folks. And I'm
mm.
like, so I had to win them back with like, that God is a good thing. And like Ash Cash was like, can I say that too? And like to open my set, I'm like, sure you can. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah.
on your
So
side.
I know Eshkat's like, look, I don't know exactly what religion or nationality you are, Sareth, but can I use that as well?
Yeah.
People don't even know if you're Cambodian. They don't even know if you're Asian or not. They just like, can I just use that?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I got it from like Comic View or something. Like when Ricky Smiley was hosting or somebody,
Yeah,
like some comic was like saying that stuff. But I'm like, I'm gonna use that because like Comic View was like a huge influence on my journey so far too.
I can see that too. Def Comedy Jam is one of my old favorite ones too. I used to watch that on like the old HBO, where they had like the set top box and stuff. You had to punch in the numbers at the top. Yes, I was
Yeah.
my mom's remote for a long time, so so yeah, so like that was fun too. Like when you see like Bernie Mac and everybody and Martin Lawrence hosting and stuff, that was always like the pinnacle of. And this is crazy because yeah, you're right. The clean material. Some people just thought it couldn't be done for me. Like it's much like because I had to like I guess you have to pass a trial to get on Bunkers, and Kim Miller them said like you're just too dirty, and I kept trying to clean it up and clean it up and clean it up, and then eventually I did one show in Daytona. And then I did one show, and then I got a little dirty, and I was like, and then I seen some kids, some younger people there, and they came back the next day and brought their friends. I was like, well, now got to talk about titties. And then Kim Miller was like, had I talked to me, he's like, you're nasty, B. And I'm like, you got. I was like, you got to dial down a little bit. I'm like, okay, my bad. So you know, so he was like, oh, you're talking about dick pics and masturbating, and I'm like, yeah, but I watch. But the thing is, Sarif, I watch people in the corner crying, laughing, and I was walking up to Ken like, yeah, what you want to talk about? He's like, you're nasty. I'm like, oh man, the owner got to him. So yeah, so I've been asked to do a church too. I'm like, I feel like I would probably catch on fire if I walking down. But no, I was like, no, I know you want me to, but I was like, I have to see how I feel about it because one of the church guys, he was hanging out, and I'm like, so I got enough clean material. I was like, I don't know because I grew up in the church mainly, so I was like, I should do it, right? I think I probably honestly should. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, because I could definitely not curse on my like younger nieces and nephews and everything. I could turn it off, turn it on like it's nothing. So
Same here. Like when I see like people that are younger than 18 in the crowd, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do an all clean set and pray for the best. And like
yeah,
that's what happened in like a theater in Jacksonville. I'm like,
mm,
people had no shame. Like everyone else was like talking so dirty, and I'm
mm,
like, how can you say that in front of kids? And I'm like, and so I had to like clean all. You did all my clean jokes, and I announced it, and they booed me like,
mm.
like they don't care about those. I'm like, I can't. I don't have the heart to. So,
Yeah.
and
You
then
see
I
like a
just
little kid in the crowd. Yeah, that's something right there. But we've done
yeah,
the Fist Line podcast. We did live shows, and it was funny because we talked about everything under the sun. But the moment, because this was like a long time ago, the moment the gay dude talked about how to suck dick, and this guy gets his daughters up and he walks them out. I'm like, oh, we can talk about Hitler. We can talk about the KKK and all this racist stuff. But the moment the gay dude was like, this is how you properly suck dick, it's like, his dad's like, my daughters need to hear this. So it's, it's just weird, right? I get it. Like some people they're turned off by certain things. And we were cursing and everything too. We like, look, this is an adult themed show. You knew better.
yeah,
He's like, they can handle it. I guess they couldn't handle it. Well, at least that,
that's
or he
true.
couldn't.
You give
Yeah,
them a fair warning, and then if they wanna like don't want to listen to like the rules, it's like it's all bets are off. What
yeah,
can you do?
yeah. And that's and trust me, I get it. So like I said, I've got a cleaner set now. But most people would think if you look back, most people would think I would never be able to do that. Even if I go back and talk to my younger self, it's like, and I told my younger self that he would laugh in my face. So I get that.
For
And he would say
sure.
titty with confidence. So
Yeah, with your chest out.
yeah, it's like yeah. And I would say titty around here. No titty meats. Fuckers a meat.
Oh, goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
yeah.
And oh, your favorite comedy podcasts?
Geez, it's been tough. I mean, I've honestly, I have been listening to that much comedy podcast. So there's Kill Tony, right? Like sometimes I just watch that. There's your mom's house. That right. That's funny because it's a couple, and they will play the most outlandish stuff. So your mom's house is like I think is Christy B and who's I can't remember the guys. It's, Tom Segura, not Tom Segura, but I can't quite remember. But I think it was Tom Segura and Christy B or whatever. They both married and they got kids and stuff together, and it's just like it is like the like funniest one. I mean, I used to like listen to like Tom and Dan and stuff here in Orlando and stuff too. It's just been a while since I listened to comedy podcasts, and the reason why is because I don't want to think that I'm getting my material from some other comedy people. Right,
Yeah,
so that's what I'm scared of. I don't want to feel like I'm getting some kind of osmosis where I'm like getting somebody's material and copying it. So I'm so terrified to listen to comedy stuff. I listen to a video game podcast. I listen to music. I listen to like a Joe Rogan when he's talking to certain people like scientists or whatever weird stuff like that, or somebody I might find interesting because I don't listen to all his stuff. But the comedy podcast it's been a while since I listened to him really.
for sure.
Mm.
I feel you. Like I notice like when we start doing comedy, we don't really watch comedy specials and listen to them anymore. And when we
Yeah,
do our own live streams or podcasts, we rarely listen to other people's or something like that.
yeah, same
But like the
thing.
journalist in me always makes me want to like watch. Like I'll watch Kill Tony, but I'm like I'm just gonna fast forward to see like all the people that I know, like like Cam or something.
Yeah, and that's what it was with me too. Like when I started watching Kill Tony, it's mainly because people we knew was on there, and
Yeah,
like sometimes people have messaged me. It's like, oh, Cam Patterson, and I try like. I went to my high school reunion. Like, let me pull up a picture of him, and the guy just walked off. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's not important. And so,
yeah,
because because sometimes people like take pictures with like the comedian or something. Like some girl I was dating is like Dwayne Williams. Like he was in some commercial, right? He was like some Universal commercial, and I'm like, I know that guy, and I was like, took a picture, and I sent a picture to this girl, me and him, just for some clout. She didn't care. I got the booty anyway. Why would I care? But still, like, but it's just still, it's still important. It's still important to show that. Yeah, but so it was. I guess it's like it's just I guess like a nice thing to see some comics like make it right. So I know that some Orlando comics is on Kill Tony, so that's what I mainly watch. I know one of the more recent ones, ate a bowl of dicks. So, but I was like, you're very new, and you got on Kill Tony, and then I think I talked to. I think she's from the Melbourne area or from the Daytona area, but it's like her name's Alex, and she got on Kill Tony and did pretty decently. Mm-hmm. But I saw her out at one of the comedy shows. So like, how did you get on? Did they have some weird thing? She's like, no, I manifested. I'm like, don't tell me this girl stuff. I manifested into existence. I'm like, I can't manifest. I just work titty meats. I don't manifest them. I try to tell her that. I'm like, this is not the way this works. if I can sit around, Sareth and eat cupcakes and just manifest my yard to be clean and manifest my titty meats to be delicious, we wouldn't have this problem. So when you tell me you manifest something, I really get upset about that.
You gotta get your essential oils in place. You gotta get your crystals in place.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've had my chakras were aligned. She's like, this is gonna sound stupid, and I was like, no, it's not. Tell me anyway. And I was like, this sounds extremely stupid, but I guess it worked because she got on. Why would I get mad if it works, right? Mm-hmm. If the chakra was aligned, if she manifested it, she got on. And that's the thing, though. The other comic must have manifested it as well and got on. So I guess that's something. So, I mean, I guess, like, I wanted to go out. That's another thing with my job, too. It got so busy. Well, I wanted to go to Texas and try to get there. Maybe I didn't manifest it hard enough for my job not to get this difficult. But so maybe I got to manifest it more. That's what it is. Maybe I'm being too harsh on her. I got to manifest.
Gotta manifest
it.
Let's see here. I know we're at the 1 hour mark. How much time do you have with you?
No, you got plenty of time with you. I've quit my morning for you, so okay. my long can wait.
Sounds good. Then we'll proceed. I was gonna go lightning round with you, but we'll go into more fully fleshed out titty meat details.
Some more meaty, juicy stuff.
Yeah. So a couple of we talked about the Boondocks and everything like that, and the early in Chappelle's show and stuff. It's like, what are some of your other favorite sketch shows, comedy films, and comedy like sitcoms?
Okay, so I probably will say my favorite comedy like sitcoms. I'll go old school like Martin, right? Fresh Prince. Like I said, it's more direct. I mean, it's fun. I can still go back to that stuff like A Living Color. I'm like old school when it comes to my comedy because I was like. No holds barred back then, right? I mean, even like on Fox or everything, they still did a fantastic job. Yeah, but that's when it comes to like shows. I mean, Married with Children, like it's all old stuff that I liked, like really. And it's kind of like when you see like your favorite show like on Nick at Night or something. It's like you're old, so it's more like that. Like I know that I might could try to get him some new stuff. There's not been nothing really new. Like I know Always Sunny is supposed to be really good. I did like Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I did like Arrested Development. So I was a big fan of those. As I got older, I was a big fan of those, but there hasn't really been much of anything other than that stuff.
I feel you. I miss like the old school 90s, like No Holds Barred and like all that good stuff. It's like
but we're old as dirt, so of course we miss those things, right? It's kind of like when you see the girls going like, "Oh, I miss the old Elvis Graceland kind of stuff," and the movies he was in, and Ronald Reagan when he was the Gipper, and like you're like, I get that. It's like I get all that. Now it's that was a very different time back then.
Sure was. And favorite comedy movies?
Geez, I would say Tropic Thunder, which I actually have on Blu-ray. So let me see here. Half Baked, obviously, right? They've got a lot of good people, Jim Brewer and Chappelle. Scary Movie, right? Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2. The main ones, 3 and 4 I wasn't into, obviously, but Scary Movie 2 was one of my favorites because that's when they went to the haunted house and and the Portuguese clown tried to molest Ray, and then Ray ended up molesting the clown. I was in movie theaters when I saw that stuff. I had tears running my face, screaming, laughing. I was screaming, laughing because, folks, if you don't know this, right, Scary Movie 2 is where this clown says, "What are you doing?" And then Ray is trying to like have sex with this clown instead, and the clown is trying to get away from Ray, and Ray wraps his penis around his clown's like neck and pulls him back under the bed. And you can see like the claw marks of this clown trying to get away from him as he's sliding under the bed with Ray. I was dying laughing. I could not breathe, and I was in a movie theater for that. Sareth laughs too because we both nasty individuals. We're both disgusting. So of course, I was dying laughing. But that was the thing, though. So like, they had the one Wayne's brother that was like always acting gay and doing goofy stuff, but then like they gave that movie over to, I guess it was rights over to somebody else, and it hasn't been the same since. And it was like, it sucked, right? So those are my favorite movies. Like the ones like Tropic Thunder, they still kind of scared to do stuff like that now. But I get the reason why Robert Downey did blackface in Tropic Thunder, right? I mean, it was funny as hell to me. I mean,
yeah,
yeah. I wouldn't even say me, my co-host from Fitzline, Zach Stacks. We like to talk about the Hateful Eight. They dropped a lot of N-bombs in that one. I mean, Dave opened it up like it was like World War II dropping it on the city. They did not care. And one of my favorite parts was, well, not really my favorite part. My fondest memory with Zach is Samuel L. Jackson describing to this Confederate soldier about his son being so cold that he had to suck his penis for a blanket. And we like in the middle of like one of the country parts of Orlando, like we in Oviedo. Then they have an intermission. And I'm going to get some chips. Like, how do you enjoy the movie, my friend, with camouflage on the suit, camera gun? He just couldn't look me in the face. I'm like, man, that's weird. And we just go back in there and keep watching this movie. So I like the edgy, crazy, Zane out of the box stuff. I mean, a lot of people are like that. I mean, it's like I know that it seems like we're kind of old, but a lot of people like that stuff. And I wish they could return to form when it comes to some of those things. Right? I think if they return to form, they would do really good. They would do amazing. They like return back to some of that stuff. Right? People got
I watched like Marlon Wayne's interviews, and you know the Weinsteins pretty much jacked that this like all that, you know, took the rights away from them. That's why the third and fourth are so bad. It's like So I blame the Weinsteins on everything. So
I went to go see the third, and I realized it wasn't the Waynes, and then I didn't even go see the fourth. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I get they try to go in a different direction, but that's what always happens, Sareth, right? So one of the reasons why I lost my hosting gig at the Tyria Cafe was because they like Erick flirted with the women and made them feel uncomfortable. Okay, that sounds weird, right? I went to a college party and I kept seeing girl after girl. I was like, "Why are you not hosting it in the Tyria Cafe, like the Tyria anymore?" And I didn't have the heart to tell them. So I was like, right? So it's like maybe the Weinsteins probably thought, this is so disgusting. A clown got raped. A poster guy's clown got raped. We cannot have this.
And the guy with the little hand, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe they was like, we can't have this. That scene might have probably horrified them while I'm dying laughing, right? And they're like, we have to take the rights. We have to do this. Not realizing they hurt the franchise when they did that, right? So that's the thing. Like, what's the old movie? I'm gonna get you, sucker, or whatever. Like old stuff like that is just what it was, right? Like, why would you? The Wayans brothers have been around. Why would you take that away from them? Right? So it was just
that's
crazy.
Why, like, I love the Terrifier movies now because like whenever they kill people in those things, I just start laughing because it's so extreme. Like, people are hiding their faces or walking out. It's like, how can you? It's so hilarious. It's not even real, but it's like the way they kill people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I've heard about that too, right? Because I don't watch horror movies, but Zach tells me about it all the time. He's like, the way they killed people, or the way they did this, like the way they got it, like they killed the girl or something, and he said it was very crazy. And I'm like, I understand, right? But like this, but I'm not into horror movies and stuff like that at all. So like, I was playing like I think Resident Evil 8, and Zach was with me, and there was this part. He's like, this is one of the scariest parts, and it was. So she didn't tell me, like, I had to go back and get this key. So there's like this giant monster chasing you around, and I forgot to get this key. And like, so I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to stop right here. I can't do it. My heart's racing really bad. I can't do it. So Zach comes back the following weekend before we do the podcast. He goes, how far did you get? I was like, I didn't get anywhere. The game's still in the same exact spot. I'm too scared to keep going. So that's how it is with me with horror movies and even with games. Like there's like a Silent Hill remake that came out. I'm like, I can't do it. I just like it looks really awesome, but I can't do it. So like Resident Evil games, I can watch a live stream of it, but I can't play it sometimes. So it's like I'm glad you enjoy the Terrifiers though. So I can watch the old ones, like the ones the really really old ones, like the Hellraisers with those delicious Cinnabites, Cinnabuns, whatever they're called. I can't remember. I'm hungry regardless. And those little delicious Hellions when they killing people. But the practical effects look so bad on HD TVs that it's not a big deal.
That's why I don't watch those like old school horror movies on HD TVs or anything, because I'm like, I just want that graininess. Like it makes you feel like you're it just feels more real to me.
I get that too. It is funny you said it because in technology, right? Like the gaming and movies, they all did it back then. So the video games they have and stuff, they try to make like a CRT filter so that way you get that same old field where you play a video game, those old games and stuff. So I get that too. But that's like I said, that's the only reason why I can watch it, because it's not on a 14-inch TV. It's all grainy. It's really small or something like that. But because I was scary back then. Now I'm like, oof, that's just tough. So.
Yep. Speaking of the Cenobites, I have one on my shirt from Fest.
Oh yeah, I can see that. He looks very intelligent. So Cenobites.
Yep. Yeah, we made it like a theme with like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas meets Hellraiser, and so my two main influences of writing, so it's like Hunter S. Thompson and Clive Barker. So like it's been telling a story since like for like 7 years now, like how he gets picked. Like look at the Chatter Cenobite where he like his teeth keeps on moving. He gets he's like hitchhiking like he's Tommy Maguire from Fear and Loathing, and then like the next poster would be like Benicio and Johnny picking him up in that convertible, and it just keeps on going and going. So it's a pretty cool concept, I think.
It is a cool concept. But yeah, I saw you did some ref effects, by the way. I mean, that was pretty awesome of you. I'm glad you're keeping that going. I know I missed one of them too, by the way. I know you invited me, but I couldn't make one. But if you do another one year, and I could probably make it, let me know. So
for sure.
It's bad on me. That was on my bad.
It's okay. Family first and stuff. So
yeah.
Yep. It's still going strong, I guess. But I'm like, I'm just gonna. It's just a whole lot of fun trying to put everyone on. So
yeah, but it also sounds stressful. So
yeah,
look at that. You're getting old, mofo. You trying to do all this stressful stuff, so I understand.
For sure.
Yeah.
And let's see here. So if you can go on tour with any comedian, locally and internationally known, which comics would you like to go on tour with?
Oh, geez. Let me see here. Local or international known? Let me see here. It's funny you say this. I will honestly like to go with Chris Robertson. It's one of them. Let me see here. Tony, just because like he's a very fun guy to hang out with. I love talking to that guy. He seemed like he's more down to earth and everything. And Caleb Davis. I mean, the Pouts and Davis actually, but I like Davis is like local around here. Ken Miller for his wisdom. Same thing with Hurley. So it hasn't been anybody I think as of like, and then when it comes to like well-known people, honestly, it'll probably be like Tim Dillon, Chappelle, or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the local comedians, just because like I wish I got to know them more on a personal level, right? I mean, most times I learn more about comedians when they do the podcast, and after the podcast, we get to sit down and talk or something, right? So, like Herman Gonzalez, it seemed like he's a dick, like when you like see him out and about, but like when you cut the cameras off, he's like a pretty normal guy. So that's always been fun. Yeah. So, but I love that guy too. Like I would like to go, but he's a family man, so.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like we always say hi and bye and stuff, and we hardly like because everyone's always in their zone or trying to get in that mind space to tell jokes and
and so you learn more about people when you can just like turn the cameras off when you just sit there and talk to them. So like I loved when like Ray Reyes come into town and I could just shoot shit with him and stuff like that, right? I mean that's fun. The same thing when it comes to like one of the new guys, this Sebastian Fernandez, yeah. I was about to say Rodriguez. They all Puerto Rican, right? So that sounds sugar racist. My bad. Just like, I could say Rodriguez, but it's Hernandez. Yes, okay. Fair enough. Look, so there's like newer guys when you sit there and hang out with them, it's kind of cool to talk to them and stuff. And the same thing with same thing with like Caleb Davis and stuff like that too. So And a lot of other guys, when you talk to them off air and stuff, because surprised me and Caleb talk about weightlifting and stuff. So there's things like that. So it's fun. But yeah, I like to love people like on a more personal level. Like Ken Miller, I learned that he's into the old school stuff and old NES and games. I learned that didn't notice by Genesis, he was into comics heavily, right? So one year I got Ken Miller a port like this little mini game console. He played all these old school games. He's like, it's been a hack my. He didn't want to install it because he thought I was going to try to hack his network. I'm like, what kind of person do you think I am?
Yeah.
And then when he finally tried it, he was like, oh, this is awesome. I was like, it's a bunch of old school Nintendo games on that you would enjoy. And that's why I did it for you. And so, yeah. But like, it's like learning about people so that way you know what to get them for Christmas or things like that and stuff. So,
That's what I need to get from you is one of those things because like I love those those side scrolling beat 'em up games and like
mm,
like
yeah, I
the new
have
stuff I can't.
it's built into my some of my game systems. I have it's called the beat 'em up bundle, right? So
Oh,
like it's just a bunch of arcade side scrolling beat 'em up games, and my brother got me these big old arcade controllers. My older brother got me these like in fact for my birthday and for Christmas or whatever. He just mainly he uses them when he comes down to play Street Fighter 6 or whatever. But I have one hooked up to my Steam Deck, so I just sit down and I'm just like got this big controller and I'm playing all these fighting games and beat 'em up games stuff like an arcade. So if you come over, we have to make time for that.
absolutely. That'd
Yeah,
be fun times.
yeah.
Yeah, because I just don't like I don't like the new stuff because like you got to pay for all the things and
The
downloads. They're
DLC
not
and stuff. Yeah,
complete.
yeah.
Well, I can't stand that. It's just
I can't stand it either. I always getting the main game. I never play for the DLC, right? Unless you can buy like a really old bundle what comes with all of it. And even then, I still don't pay for it. I still don't play it all through. But there's been certain games like this, like a new one came out on PS5 called Astrobot. I beat that game in platinum because it was like Mario to me. So like the Mario games, I played to 100%. And then Sony's got the wonderful idea to do the same exact thing, and I was like, great, you guys are smart. And
and like do you still do that stuff where like it's Christmas time and then you tell people here's my connect like here's this for all the
the
free stuff.
list. Oh yeah, I'm still doing that. So one of the things I got to do, I'm so anxious about because by this month, I have to start working on my personal projects again. And one of them is the video game giveaway app that I wrote. Right. So once a year, so let's talk about I get a bunch of video games. So sometimes I buy video games in bulk, like it's like going to Costco. And I get one or two games out of that list that I might want to play. Then the rest of the games just like just sit there that I just don't use at all. So I will just give them away at the end of the year. And even the games I beat, like the games like I beat, like Astrobot and Final Fantasy Rebirth, like I'm just giving the PS5 games. I'm just giving them away at the end of the year. So I made an app, and I made this app in particular because it was it's built on a certain tech stack they call it. I did it because I went to a job interview, and this company I went in the boss hogging as a ref. I was like, I got over 20 years of programming experience, and they made me feel like shit. They knocked my dick in the dirt.
Wow.
So I did not get that job. At least need to say, but so as I was still unemployed, I was working on this app, and the app was like written in the stuff I did. What they said I was not qualified for. So I'm going back again this year, and I'm updating the app even more. So that's my goal. So probably by sometime early next month, I have to start working on an app. So that way, by the time Christmas come around, I can just put the app out there, and people can tour around with it. So,
Hey, that sounds like fun.
mm.
Yep, can't wait for that list to drop because I'm like that Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge looks like a lot of fun on PS4. So
So I that's funny. So like yeah. So the thing is like it's an app, so that way I have nothing to do with it anymore, right? Because people was like, "That's my game." I said it first, blah blah. Like in the comment section, I used to do it like as a list I post. Now I don't post the list. Now you go to an app, you click on it, you confirm the game you want. It gives you the CD key. I don't give a shit. I have nothing to do with it because I used to sometimes. So if I'd be around a table during Christmas Day, sending people codes and stuff. Like I'm trying to get away from that. So
yeah,
that's why I wrote an app, and that app was beat my ass pretty much. So now that it's 1.0, when I do like version 1.2 or whatever, it's not gonna be it's bad. So
heck yeah.
and
Well,
I think I actually open source it too. There you go, you nerds.
there you go, you nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so let's see here. So if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five that are alive, which comedians would you get roasted by?
Let me see here. I will probably say I want to get some of my favorites locally first. I want to say like at least Carmen Gonzalez, right? Because he's a very mean guy. He loves doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Kim Miller, Caleb, and then the ones that did are alive. I'll probably say it was there's a guy who actually did the roast battle stuff. They used to actually host. Who was the guy who used to host them on? I can't remember his name. So I can't remember his name, but it was a guy that actually used to like do host roast battles, like on Netflix and stuff or on Comedy Central. So since I can't remember his name, it's not a big deal. But so I would still go Chappelle and Don Rickles.
Nice.
I know I dug
Awesome.
deep for that.
So what?
See, I dug deep on the Don Rickles, right?
Yeah, you did.
Mm,
I think like Greg Giraldo might be the guy because he passed away. He was on all those Comedy Central runs, but I don't know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those guys, like, but the guy used to the host those. I can't remember his name, but he was hilarious as well. But that's the thing about those Comedy Central like roast battles and stuff. And I've learned that people like write their jokes and stuff too. It's like some of the guys from the Howard Stern show would like write some of their jokes. And I'm like, I will. That's awesome. I love that. So because it was always good. Like the was it the Tom Brady one? I didn't even watch it, but my brother loved it. So it's not like I love seeing people get roasted a bit means. One of the things I follow on X is rare insults where it's just mean stuff being said to people.
Wow. I
It's
need
like
to
people huh?
I need to follow them now, I guess. So
Yeah, rare insults down bad in the comment section is another one. When a dude say some freak nasty stuff to some girl's picture or something. There was one I've seen where like the guy was like he said hey to a girl and the girl said hey back. He's like I'm not good at talking to women. Best of luck. He just like stopped talking to her. It's like it was good. She set up a beautiful thirst trap and he set himself free. So
it's like rare insults, and what was the other one?
down bad in the comments. I just have to tag him with somebody next post or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be nice. 'Cause
Mhm.
I'm always looking for entertainment on X. It's so that web's actually is such a wild place.
It is a wild place now that Elon runs it, and it's weird because they're allowed to say whatever they want. So I watch people trash Elon Musk on Elon's Musk site, and I'm like, and they go like, Elon Musk's not for freedom of speech. Like, look, I think sometimes they're right about it, but at the same time, it's like they get to say the most outlandish stuff on X now, and I get to die laughing about it. So, like, why would I not want that?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just so much fun. It's just easier to use than Reddit, and I'm like, it's just more entertaining. Cause like you'll like see a post, and then they'll just like say some random things underneath that post. I'm like, where does this all come from? It's like it's
yeah.
not
Well, they
even on
trying to.
topic.
So they actually engagement forming, right? So like the one thing that I learned too about the like algorithms and everything, right, and engagement forming and stuff. So I noticed people did that because of the way they changed X around. And people talk about Elon like losing money, but he's paying people out if they do stuff, if they engage with stuff. So he's doing good when it comes to that retrospect. So even though he cut a ton, he cut X down from this big bloated thing to this small running stuff. Especially when you don't have to censor anybody, you can easily just like, you got AI and stuff like that to kind of handle that stuff. You got certain filters you can apply, but he kind of like shadow ban people if they say something too crazy. For the most part, you can say whatever you want. Like you can. That's weird because sometimes I go back to Facebook and I got to remember to like tone down how I say stuff. So I've been on X for so long that I'm kind of like people want to follow me on X, they'll see how I really feel about things. But yeah, I mean, like I can speak freely on X, and I don't really get to do that on Facebook or Threads. I have not posted on Threads not once. That's Facebook answer to Meta's answer to X.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I feel you. And like they just put like full adult movies sometimes on there. I'm like, good lord, you guys have a lot of spare time.
that is crazy to me. Like I'm glad it's not in my algorithm. I've had to fight so that way the titties don't show up in my algorithm anymore. I had to fight it more. Then sometimes I'm just scrolling and just some old up titties. Like, because what happens if you stop and look for a second? They're like, that's what he likes.
Yeah,
and I think I stopped too long. And so then they start showing me one more old up titty. I stop a little longer. And then next thing I kept seeing a ton of old up titties. Like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta mute these, and I gotta like say I don't want to see these kind of posts. And now they went away. It's good.
pretty much. I talk about it on stage. I'm like, just hashtag your kink, and then like it'll pop up. It's crazy. It's like they take their hashtags seriously. Like,
I know, and that's the thing about it. I've I was wondering why you've been so much of oiled up titties as of late. And he's
yeah,
like,
that's why I get hashtag titty meets all the time because I'm
yeah,
like,
I was wondering. You just like this guy's sending me a bunch of titties. X like show him this one. He don't like this one. so, so yeah, but like I don't mind it because like I mean I work from home, so it's not a big deal. I can just scroll through and see a titty every now and then. But
mhm,
it is fair. So like I do like X when it comes to like people get to say whatever they want, right? You can talk about the pandemic and how you feel about the election, one side or the other. You can call Elon a piece of shit. Like you can do whatever you want, and he just doesn't. You can dead name people and stuff like that, and that's fine. So I see some of the best jokes, not because I'm not, I don't respect people how they feel about things, but you see the most outlandish, racist stuff
yeah,
on X, and it just doesn't change anything. I'm like, okay, so whatever. And I had to be desensitized to it, right? I used to get offended easily. I'm like, okay, whatever. What am I gonna do? I don't know this person, so
right. Like,
yeah.
what's I don't argue on social media either. Like, I posted this political thing, like I think it was like Project 2025 or whatever
Mm,
on my Facebook, and like random people that didn't know each other were fighting each other in the comments.
yeah, and that's what scared me. Like, so I used to do that too. I used to post about certain things I feel, but I started getting back. So I was like, no, 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 I need to stop this again because like it's not because nobody wants to understand. Because if I go, this how I this can't be real. They go like, that's not true. No, you don't. I'm like, okay, well, you don't respect my opinion then. Like, so I was like, why would I even argue with you about this? And by the way, I'm not conservative. I am like more to the left. I'm like than anybody, right? So like, but I don't even. More to the left than like most liberals. So I mean, I want healthcare and free college and stuff like that. I don't, So it's like, but people just think because I would talk freely about titties that I just don't care about women having rights.
And like I tried to make it like I'm making a Project Pat reference, instead of like Project 2025,
Yeah,
and they were still like they just didn't get Project Pat. I'm like, you need to like educate yourself on some chicken heads. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. Like it's kind of like once again, Sareth, it's very tough to try to get somebody to go, this is my way of thinking, and I
mm,
like and try to change them. If you like, look, it took me a while too. Like it took me a while to come around to a lot of things, and I think um like I said, I'm not conservative or nothing, but it took me a while to come around to like, okay, well, this is pointless trying to argue with my very liberal friends about this point, my very conservative friends about this point, because they're set in their ways, right? So I can't change that. I can't tell them why the minimum wage going up is a good thing to a conservative person, and you can't tell somebody why state rights. Even though sometimes slavery is about state rights, so sometimes it can be a good thing. And so, like you can, like it's tough, right? It's tough. You can't tell somebody why having a gun ownership is a good thing. Like you can't. It seems weird. It's like I understand why things are certain ways, and people go like, "We just need to get rid of all guns." Well, I don't know. I mean, by the way, I don't even have a gun, but I saw them lock down all of Australia, and so and they don't have guns there. So
nope.
yeah.
Oh
So
man,
mm,
when you talk about like when you talked about slavery and stuff, and I was like, it reminded me of like the woodshed in Orlando. It's like
mm,
that's the only place where it's allowed, where all the doms and subs go.
yeah. And by the way, yeah, a lot of people love to get whipped all of a sudden. Yeah, y'all nasty motherfuckers. Maybe your great grandpappy love whipping people, and now you're like, I got to get this kink out.
Yeah.
I'm legit. One day I was at Public House, right, and this guy, I didn't know he had a blow whip. He just went to his truck. He went to the back of his truck. He just cracked it, and I'm like, oh shit! I said, I don't even. I said, I had like a flashback, something. And these two white college girls just started dying laughing. I was like, I don't know what that's from, but I said that started to say that didn't work for me. They like felt normal. I'm like, oh, whoa, ooh, I feel like I should be running away. I just,
Oh man.
but
And like, when remember I messaged you like on that one Sunday where Blake and I were performing at the woodshed
mm,
to save us some spots, and like we got out there late, and then we got out of that woodshed late, so we couldn't make it to the Austin's on time.
yeah,
But man, like there was so many chains like hanging from the ceiling, and like there was like
mm,
dragons that were like it was like double dragons like weaving through each other on the background, and like
yeah,
and I didn't have a place to put my tripod on, so there was like a sex bed that I put my tripod on, and like
I did not know about this room at all. By the way, I have no clue about this room. So I knew you was like couldn't make it there, but yeah, to Austin's, but I didn't know that's what you was doing. You old freak nasty.
yeah, and, like there were so many chains on the walls. I thought like the Cenobites were gonna come out and like
Oh, those delicious little Santa bites, part of this balanced breakfast. I hope so. You damn nasty. Yeah,
that room was so fun though because it was just so kinky.
yeah. I did like a one of those swinger club places or whatever. I did that little hideaways or something.
Mhm.
I was like, that was crazy. I'm glad it didn't get too kinky, but I'm like, I'm sitting there trying to do my set while people massaging breasts and stuff. It's very awkward for me. I'm kissing, rubbing titties. I'm like, all right, well, I can't get through this with a hard on, so we're gonna just try to power through.
Yeah. That's why I love doing those indie rooms because like it's not like a club setting or nothing. It's like
Yeah,
the most random things can just go on and happening, and like
yeah,
you
that's
guys
true.
focus. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is something about those rooms. No, that's why I got to do the I think the don't tells more. I did like one of them, I think, but I got like I know I think they canceled. Like I didn't even get a chance to do. I want to support one, and eventually I didn't. Like I was supposed to be on one, but it got canceled or something. But yeah, Jar knows. I think I can't remember who else put them. There's a dark comedy one too that people put on that's pretty good here in Orlando. So when it's not like a typical comedy room, is what it does good. So and I gotta get into those.
Yeah, I
Mm.
haven't done a don't tell. It's just I don't.
You
I
got to know
just
how to
look.
reach out to the right people, right? That's what it is. I don't sometimes I don't know who to reach out to,
I
and I
just go
know
to
I
the
need.
website and it'll have like the list of all the contacts who to reach out to and stuff. So
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, look at
mhm.
it. I don't even. I got to update my website. I'm supposed to be doing that today too. The offensive line podcast website and stuff. It looks horrendous right now. So
Mine's pretty easy. I use Weebly, so it's just click and drag.
yeah, but I'm actually like a web developer. So like I was just gonna just like build out a page. Like I built my brother's. We had a family restaurant, and I built out the web page. And one time I got drunk, and it was like a bunch of misspellings, like spellings and errors in it. And I'm working on this. I'm just drinking beers, and I just messed it up. They're like, "Well, that's Erick's touch." Yeah, that is me.
I was
So
wondering why there were so many typos, and now I know where it came
that's
from.
exactly because it was me. It wasn't. I mean, maybe because they just gave me a menu instead of actually like give me something that's a hard copy that I can copy and paste.
Mhm.
Because that's the way I do things at work. I copy and paste stuff. Like if you give me text, I'm copy and paste it verbatim, so it's not my fault. But if you give me text to type, I've been on that sauce. I've been drinking a couple of yingling beverages. You go get a little deep. you know, a couple of those yinglings slap you in the face and double tap you. You start messing some things up. So
Oh man. Yep,
yeah,
I love your brother's restaurant. Like it's I interviewed your brother and everything like that, and had some food out there. It's
yeah.
pretty good stuff. I still got to keep doing this more of those, like
Yeah,
taking the
I'm glad you
comics
did
to
that. By the
the
way, yeah, his restaurant actually like shut down and stuff. That's what made me mad. So like, it was like, so we lost the family restaurant, but it
really.
was like a lot of effort I put into like doing the website, doing the helping set up the point of sales machine and stuff like all those things. And like, I had to drive down there and set up his machine for like the restaurant. And I was like, don't worry about the website. I pay for it and do it all for free for you. And then I was updating the website because it was all HTML and stuff. So I was just updating the HTML form and everything. And then I was going to get rid of the automate it some more and things. And it just went under. I'm like, that sucks. But so,
Damn.
yeah, it
I'm
happened. My brother, he stayed with me for a little while because he had nothing. He lost everything when he lost the restaurant. So he stayed with me and I helped him put his life back together. So he's good now. He doesn't even cook anymore. He works at a retirement home for old people.
oh
So
nice.
yeah. At least those old people get these, and I like it because it's old people, so they're really old. Sometimes they say something quite racist, and you have to just
Yeah.
roll them back to their room.
You gotta like tell like I don't know, do some stand up for those old folks. I guess.
Well, I can't look. They're right. I can't be doing it. They need to laugh. They on their last leg anyway.
Hmm.
So
The
nah.
one with yep, their last leg.
Yeah. Well, maybe so. Yeah, they got one foot out the door. That's what I would like to say. So, but no, it's fun. It's good. Like I'm happy for them, and that's the thing too. I got to find a place to be able to do comedy again. And I know that we talked about like this. My friend owns a sports bar. I talked about maybe doing it for him at some point. You know what I mean? Put on the show. Maybe I'm gonna do like a don't tell there or something. So I can try to see what I can work for those guys.
Make sure
So
there's no football going on and no home
that's
teams
the
are
thing too. No,
playing.
no March Madness, no football. Can't. Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you go to a sports bar and it's football night, people are gonna be a little upset. You trying to talk about some titties or slang some dick jokes. So I understand. Yeah.
It's like the other bar, like canceling because of the Buffalo Bills. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like I get it, right? That's like I think that's the any UCF game, anything. I totally understand. So it's just tough. Try because people want to watch the game, and that's what would happen too when we did like public house. If there was something going on. Like it was an election night one night when Blake was just getting mad. It's like, how could you guys do this in Florida? Like it's like, yeah, but it's like, no, Blake, you get mad at these people. You're right by UCF. They didn't vote that way. So don't yell at these people.
That's for sure. Nobody wants to go out during the summer. It's like, oh, it's so bad. It's like it's rough. Like in Daytona, like they just love the Dolphins, and so whenever the Dolphins are playing, it's like good luck competing against the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like there's no point in even trying to do that when sports are going down. So I get that too. I totally understand.
It bites. Let's see here. What's like what is your favorite joke a comic has written?
Whew, this is a tough one. I would say, I'm gonna get you with a new one, right? Joe Sensabella wrote a joke about going to a massage parlor. So that is fun with me because it talks about price haggling in a massage parlor. And he put such a weird spin on it. He put such a weird spin on it that I love it. And then another one is like Caleb Davis has one about a history teacher, which is funny to me because there's people that it's just outlandish stuff. And then I think Antoine, he's like one of the newer comics as well, but I've seen him around. But he is funny because his jokes is just so deadpan about some of like just most outlandish African American stuff. And I don't know him on a personal level, but I did invite him on. I didn't just have to sit down with this guy because he's so unique. So those are my three main ones I could think about off the top of my head. But I love those guys.
Mm-hmm. Those are some good guys. Antoine's just like I'm like, he's so quick with it. It's like, it's
and he's trying new stuff too. It's funny. I used to call him Antonios. He would get mad because I called him Antonio. Then I called him Antoine. He's like, my name is So like on purpose because he was new. So like on purpose, I was fucking up his name because Kim Miller would do that to me. He would be like, "Who you are again? Who are you?" I'm like, oh, I was like, Ken, I'm Erick Feiling. I don't got to talk about titties all the time, and I would be offended. And then I'm like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. So like, I get why he did that. So like, I did the same thing with Antoine. So I hope he understands that now. But it's good. Like I respect the Joe. Like Joe, like you can't mess up Joe's name because his name is just Joe. Until he fought Billy Myers. So now I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with him.
I like it. Yeah, I love Joe too. He always impersonates me and stuff because it's so easy to do it. And then he also impersonates other comics. I'm like, let me hear that one. And like all the other comics, and like he's pretty good. He does Carmen Malone and everything.
JJ Miller is another one that impersonates a lot of people and stuff. He tried to impersonate me. I'm like, and I said, so you sound like Beavis and Butthead. Like, what are you even doing? Like, so I try to roast him for trying to, because the Grumpies have a heckle mic every other Tuesday. So we. Like I grew up in like the 80s and 90s with people just cracking each other on the school bus and trying to break each other down. So like I live for that moment. So it was tough though. And then we all got like drinks afterwards. Like nothing ever happened. Like we berated each other and just like let's go to the Falcon and get drinks. So it was weird.
He's one of my upcoming guests too. We're gonna do ours. JJ's gonna be my guest on Monday at 6:30. So we're gonna talk. So he's a good fella.
I love JJ. Yeah, tell him I said what's up. Who was the There's the other guy, the black dude. He's actually dating the older lady.
Oh, C.
Yeah. C was it CJ or just C Miller? C Miller.
C Dillard.
Yeah. C Dillard. Yeah, C Dillard. These guys. He talked about it on stage, and I was like, that was another joke he did, but like it was like newer, and we die laughing. So I respect these comics that I'm just not seeing for the first time. I seeing like newer comics on stage. I love those guys, so that is quite fun.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
glad there's a lot of love there because like there's some cities that don't like newer comics, you know. I'm like,
Mm.
we were once there. It's like give them a
We want
break.
newer too, yeah.
Yeah,
We all
and
had to learn.
like they're starting up rooms and they're not knowing not what they're doing. It's like be glad they're starting up new rooms because for the longest time it's always been the same people, like same venues. It's like I'm glad they're
Mm.
starting new rooms because they're trying to grow the city and like all that stuff. So people get so mad. I'm like, just be happy there's more rooms to perform stand up in because a lot of venues don't like us because we're talking about peckers and titty meats.
Yeah, that's true. Peckalicious and Meteoramos. So it's just, but yeah. But my thing is like, I want to be able to go to a place that's still, I guess they have like different things going, like karaoke and dirty bingo and stuff like that. And you can still like slip like some comedy in there every now and then. So it's like because we go to Austin's on Sunday, but some people don't know this. Austin's do other stuff. They have like rap nights and poetry nights and stuff. So I wasn't aware. You know,
Yeah.
like I think I went to like I can't remember which one of the place I went to. I went there, but it was actually a poetry night. I'm like you can stay around for poetry. I'm like, no, fuck, I won't. I can't be doing that at all. So,
Oh,
because
they had
yeah,
that before comedy in Jacksonville at Rain Dogs on Mondays,
mm,
and like I try to sit through those poetry nights, and I'm like, these are just sad people without punchlines. It's like it's
yeah,
so
I know. Like even when I did poetry one time, like at the Civic Center in Gainesville, it was still funny. They're like, "What's the jokes? Like, what's this? You gotta." Yeah, but then I started doing my comedy like poetry. And one time, I was at this place called the Lab in Gainesville, and this guy was like, He says, "Do it like you do it at the Civic Center." And I slowed down. I was deadpan, and this one chick, I just slow roasted her instead of me being fast, rapid fire. It was just slow roast jokes the whole time. And that shit hurt my feelings. I can tell you that much. I was
oh
like, "Oof,
man,
yeah,
it's that's how I was at the that church show. It's like
mm,
I know I don't got a lot of clean material, so I'm just gonna take my time and take it slow
yeah."
it's I just talked about how I look like a Ninja Turtle all the time, so they
That
liked
is
that a lot.
beautiful. Yeah, that's work. And like, that is true.
I think I have so many Ninja Turtle jokes now, it's like I do
That's
some callbacks, it's so
yeah.
fun.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
that's what works, right? I mean, like, it'd be kind of weird if I. It's his thing about it because I don't talk about my titty meats much on stage at all. But people say they hear like off stage. So like even Tony B is like, "Where's your titty jokes?" Like I think it was like other people was like, "Why are you not talking about titties?" Like, because Ken told me I couldn't. Like so, I was just like, like there's things like that. So it's just kind of weird that like I try to mix and match them, but hey, I understand. um,
Pretty much.
mm.
And, what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
um, for me, it's more like what my audience will take away from it. That so one thing I try to do is like I try to make it so my audience can repeat my jokes verbatim, right? So you notice I just don't drop in like I say n word or n bums or whatever. Like I very rarely like I drop it every like sparingly, like very loosely or whatever. I think with some new jokes, but I try to even like keep it out. So I want them to be able to talk about my life and talk about my family and stuff like that. Talk about some things that go on in my life, but they could be able to say my jokes all the way. So I've remembered that I went to like my brother's for Christmas and we put like on Eddie Griffin or something, right? It was just something crazy, and he's just saying like he's just chanting like the N word like crazy. And my white family go, "That joke was funny when he said blah 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 N word," and he just they couldn't say it. They're like, "Oh, he said this." I'm like, I just want you to be able to see my jokes completely. There might be one special, and after that, I might just start dropping like crazy. But at that point right there, it's like I want people to be able to see my jokes all the way. So, and they learn something about me too. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Same
Mm.
here. Like I'm pretty bad at topical stuff, so I'm just like I'm just gonna talk personal stuff.
Yeah, I think when you
So
talk about yourself, it's easier for people not to easily get offended too, right? So like I could go through my whole thing when it comes to like my life when that's why I do why do I go to the gym I go to and why do I do you know like my kind of job I do and stuff and things like that. So it's like and I just try to make it funny. So that's all I really can do, and they get to learn about me that way, and then hopefully they just because it's weird sometimes people come to after a show and they tell me more about this. Did it really happen that way? And I go like these things are over exaggerated, but essentially yeah. So and I try not to really like one of my new jokes I did because one of my chick friends tried to send me with one of her friends, and I kept cutting down the joke so people stopped getting less and less offended from it. So so that's another thing too. So even then people think I'm not. My friend thought I was being mean. I was like, no, trust me. I said the original joke was a lot worse. I called your friends a lot worse things, but I cut it down to just like one or two things instead. Works out good.
Sure.
Mm.
Good stuff. Yep. I don't know. The comics mostly like because I perform mostly to comics now because like
Yeah.
at the Nog it's just I always go up last because I'd much rather have like the young comics perform in front of like a full packed house.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck with comics or drunk people. So
that seems fair. Yeah, sometimes I would like not go up if it's like just a bunch of comics left over or something. So, and I'll do that like at other bars stuff like that too if I ever did go out on a Monday still. So, yeah, it's like sometimes I'm just like I don't have to go up. I'm just like I've been doing this such a long time. Like I don't have to go up, so I'm fine either way. Like like I just like talking to comics mainly. That's one of the reasons why I really do go out. I like talking to some of the newer comics. Like my favorite one is like a lady comic is Shaylo. She's very fun.
She's fun.
Yeah, you see with that gray hair and stuff, and she just like says the most outlandish stuff. Like she sit at home and knit and bake cookies, but then she goes out and just be a goddamn old freak nasty on stage. So
It's I love those older folks with like dirty sense of humor because they're fun to hang out with. I'd rather hang out with those folks than the racist ones, the old racist ones.
yeah, the old racist one, yes, yeah. So Shaylo helped me get one of my new jokes. I have a new joke about swiggers, and she said swigger on stage, and I was like, look at her. She's a damn swigger. And then she's just like, she got offended that I was saying that to her. And I'm like, well, thank you. Now I can just use that. So now she's scared to say swigger, and I say it all the time. So it's fine.
Oh, man.
But that's the kind of fun you get with talking to comedians. Because she was like taking it back. She's like, but she knows who I am as a person. So she just knew I was just being joking or whatever. But the whole crowd was dying laughing at that. I said, what did you say? Swigger? And then she's like, oh, okay. That's different. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. But she's just old school. So she just said all this stuff like it was nothing. And she got that idea from Darwin J, like another person. So
yeah. I'm missing Darwin around and but I love like Shay and I love Deb Rose and Heather Hill and they're so fun to be around.
Are these what Tampa comics or whatever? Not Tampa comics, but Daytona comics.
Heather is the one dating C, and then like
oh, okay, that's right, yeah.
And Deb is out of Ormond, but she travels all over the place.
These motherfuckers like they drive, yeah. That's something. I hate that stuff. So
yeah, like Kermit was like, I thought you were always based out of Orlando. What are you doing driving in an hour and a half to come to the improv or the Funny Bone open mic? And
yeah,
sometimes you gotta drive forever to do 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy that you drive forever to do 5 minutes. My thing is like now that my car is I switched to like a Tesla, so I don't got a gas car, and I only can go like a certain amount of miles before I have to like charge it or something, right? So like I hate when I have to go. I don't really hate, but I have to sometimes go to like Lakeland or something, and I have to like charge my car all the way up, and then at some point I have to stop for like 20 or 30 minutes to charge my car up again to keep going. So if it's just me driving around town, it's fine. But when I have to go to like, Lakeland or like DeLand or something, then like that's when it kind of sucks a little bit. So I was like, So
just carpool with someone that has a gas car.
I do that if I can. Like I legit to ask people like, can I carpool with you guys? I mean, it's not like I don't like driving my Tesla doesn't get as miles like as a newer Tesla. It's kind of an old school one. It's like I like because it's big. It's like an old Cadillac. It's like a Cadillac of the lyric community to me. So. So I do like having something like that, but at the same exact time I get like 180 miles to charge, so I only can go like I can get to like Daytona and back probably pretty easily, but like I would have to get back and then like charge my car some more or something and then like drive back home or something. So and then you have to sit around for like a little bit. Yeah, it takes like it's like $5 to charge my car to a decent point and drive home or something. So it's not terrible. So
How much
Yeah,
does it take to get like a full charge on your car? Like when you're at like like Target or Bucky's or something to charge it up.
yeah. It takes like 30 minutes, so 35, 40 minutes, give or take. How much I want to charge it, and then
Hmm.
I'm good, right? So, but that's the thing. You have to sit around at Bucky's for a little bit. So, like, as long as you're in Bucky's for like over 30 minutes, you're fine. You don't think about it. Like, I went to charge my car earlier this week, and luckily I was right by like a Sonny's or a Smoky Bones and stuff like that, so I could just go somewhere and eat. But like when me and my brother go see my dad, sometimes on some weekends, we go to Celebration right by close by like Disney. We plug it in there, and there's like Applebee's right next to it. So the problem is a lot of rich people live over there, and they all got Teslas. So it's
Yeah.
sometimes I don't want to wait around for that. So it's just different things, but it all works out good.
Does it cost a lot to charge? Like,
Mm, Actually save money. One, I
yeah.
never have to worry about oil changes, right? So I don't know why they keep sending me stuff in the mail for a free oil change or a discount because I don't have to. I don't got an oil engine, right? So that's one thing. So I don't have to worry about oil changes every couple of months and stuff. And then I plug my car in at home, when I get home at night. So, but the thing is, my charger's like a level one charger. They have like different levels of it. When you go to like a charge station, like what Elon has, so it's level two and level three. So at some point, when I actually like get a full charge thing like mounted in my house, I wouldn't care about that at all because it takes like a long time to charge my car at like a level one. But if I get a level two charge, it'll be fully charged every morning,
Uh,
racially charged.
you really charge. You can say that on stage. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I said it, but yeah, I've always got like electronics. So all my stuff, most of my stuff is battery powered, right?
Mm.
My lawnmower is battery powered. My car is battery powered. I got solar panels in my house. I'm slowly doing all this nerd stuff and everything. And then I got all the AI, not AI, but smart house stuff that I'm setting up and configuring. So I could tell like to dim the lights or whatever when like I have some lady want to give it the booties. I could just have it dim the lights or something. Look, I just have all these different things. It's fun. So like I've been here for a year, but I'm slowly building up to like the nerd palace I want. So it'll be
It's like
fun.
Eric Jetson over here.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to be like the Jetsons, George Jetson and the Jetsons.
George Jefferson, the
George
Jetsons.
Jefferson. I'm sorry, George Jefferson.
You're definitely moving
I'm
on
on
up
to the big old spot in the sky. Like I'm on, I'm moving on up in the world. Does
past the world onto the moon.
Yeah, that's my thing. So that's the thing. I'm like very technical, right? So that's the thing that people really don't get about me. But yeah, that was the getting a Tesla was part of my plan of being battery powered. I'm not some hippie, by the way. I mean, if you want to, I don't know, still burn a bunch of gas and have these big exhausts, I don't give a shit. But for me, it's just like it's more convenient to go that way because I don't like messing with oils and all this other weird stuff. It's not like I'm less manly. Maybe I am, but I don't know. I still get to mow my grass and my shirt off, my titty meat's glistening. It's just that it's electric power. It still sounds the same. People, you want to know the difference.
Yeah.
I still want some girl to be on the back porch drinking a lemonade as I'm getting it done.
You're wild, Eric.
That's a
Awesome.
life.
It's probably we got two members in the audience too, so it's like probably Zach or something.
Yeah.
He's all
One
quiet.
of these degenerates. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And let's see here. So this is like the stand-up speakeasy. It's like a secret society of stand-up comics. So with that being said, like how Uncle Tony brought you on, which five comics would you like to see on a future episode of the stand-up speakeasy?
So how do you say that? I would like to see um, Caleb Davis or Pouts. Um, Let me see here. Joe Sensabella or Robin Love. Edwin Pagan. Is that enough?
I think so. That's a lot
Yeah.
of folks.
Yeah.
Yep. I put my timestamps in while you're saying them because so that way I don't forget who's
Oh
So
yeah, they're very
here's
forgetful people. It's right. Yeah, like I said, I love just about all those guys and everything, like including Robin and stuff. He's like one of the like lady comics I like. She's something she'd be very interesting to interview. She has a very
mhm.
fun life. But I like Edwin as well. I'm trying to get a job where he's working at. We're going back and forth hammering the details right now with the HR.
Oh
So
nice.
yeah, that's what's going on in my personal life. Like That's stressful because they reject my first offer. They sent me one.
Dang.
Yeah, that's
It's
fun.
good to have referrals and friends that are working when in the same field as you and stuff. And
Yeah. Well, they like, this is what we're gonna put in your offer letter, and I was like, that sounds good. They're like, no, we're gonna cut it a little bit. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound good. So I was like, let me try to counter a little bit. So
oh, those contracts, I tell you. But
yeah,
yeah,
I'm a contract worker right now for this one company, and I'm trying to get a full time job where Edwin Pagan works at, but they would like legit just cut money off the top. I'm like, I didn't know you guys could just because I thought you just punch up the contract by offer letter, and they just like second thought, delete, 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 and start typing it. I'm like, oh, so we'll see how it goes. I might have
yeah.
to still just accept it regardless, but we'll see how it all plays out.
Well, I hope you get it because it's like
Mm.
you have like 20 years experience. It's like why not? It's like I'd
Well, yeah,
yeah
it's one of those weird things where, I mean, like I get it. They want to make sure I'm capable of doing it, so that is one thing too. So they said like like it's not a big crazy thing. It is like a big growing company. So that is one thing. And everyone's like pushing for. He's like, we can hang out. I'm like, you think I like to hang out with comedians? Ew. No, that's not. No, I would love to hang out with him. And he's like a family man outside of the comedy world.
yeah.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, like the guy was very excited to like interview me, and it seemed like I was very technical. They just decided to like just shave a little bit at the top. Like a little hot top fade. I'm going a little lower than what you were supposed to, but I have to see if I just take that cut or not. So, yeah, so that's fun. But yeah,
As long as you can,
Hmm?
as long as your bills are paid and the roof's overhead and everything's fully charged, racially charged, then you can
Racially
just come out.
charged car and everything. Yes, that'd be fine. Yeah, that's what I had to ask them too. Is like, do you guys have a plug where I could plug in my Tesla and charge it?
I just drive a Subaru. I used to have a Honda, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go with a Subaru.
Yeah, you look very racially ambiguous anyway. They might think you're Puerto Rican. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you switched.
And I get misgendered a lot, so they're thinking this stud is driving a Subaru.
Yeah, it's true. It didn't even change. Yeah, it's just like now you get such racially profile, you just get misgendered. That's
Yeah.
fun.
I see that on stage. I'm like, I get misgendered a lot. I just wish I got Mr. Gendered.
That's not gonna look. You asked for a lot, Sareth, in such a short time. So,
Yeah. I'm just
no, you're
working
fine.
on these quick jokes. It's like I have a milkman joke that's really disgusting, but it's like only 6 words. It's like,
Oh, okay.
yep. So I'm like, I'm a milkman. I milk men.
You'll say that at church.
I can't say that at church.
I know that. I know.
But it's
Over the
so fun to say because I can catch people off guard because they're thinking I'm like, delivering milk and stuff. But I'm
yeah, yeah. But milking a dude is very intense. I respect you for that. Somebody's got to do it.
yeah, it's so fun being dirty. And I don't know. It's just I love like how we all get and roast each other and like they just put your senior picture on like
Oh, dude, yeah, that was something. So, my senior picture, right? I've had to explain this to somebody. So, if you obviously watching this video, you see that I have dreadlocks. But 25 years ago, my mom said you cannot have a senior picture with cornrows or anything else. Because I had a juicy afro. I love my last day as seniors. So I had an afro pick with a little fist in there. They're like, that is a juicy front. I'm like, I'm just picking it out, making sure it's all fluffy and stuff. You know, and it was nice. But I was like, you cannot be having a senior picture with an afro. You're not doing no cornrows. You're not some gangster person. Like no, she's like no. She's like either you cut it or you straighten it. And that was the story. I had to straighten it. So I got this Cat Williams perm, folks, in my senior picture. So yeah, so like some people was like, "That's not you." I'm like, I wish I can say that. I wish I could say it's not me. And Joe Sensabella, his raggedy ass, actually put us as his profile picture. So I feel like I'm talking to like when he says stuff, it just feels weird. You know, I'm just like my younger self. I'm disappointed in both Joe Sensabella and my younger self from 20 years ago. So it's just weird to see it. Yeah, but oh my god, yeah, that was something. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When Ross McCoy posted that in the comments, it was like, oh my god, like so. Then we have a secret group with a bunch of comedians. Dwayne Williams did it first, and then Carmen Gonzalez it's like, what is this? I'm like, people were just like, oh, I forgot people haven't seen this, and I forgot most people I know are comedians. I'm gonna get barbecued for this. And this is exactly what happened. But I got thick enough skin to just take it. But I was getting just lambasted from this.
And I knew it was going to be in that other group because, like, as soon as I said on your Instagram profile, like, oh, it's going to be here shortly. And sure enough,
oh my God, yeah, but I didn't think about it. Like, I legit went to my high school reunion, and I'm walking by. I'm trying to go to the bathroom, and one of the girls was like, from my class, she's like, "Hey, stop for a second." I was like, "You just could have ignored me like you did in high school, woman. And what do you want?" She's like, "Let me see you. Like, you see this senior picture of you?" I'm like, "I'm aware of it. I know what I look like." Like, why? But to be fair, I earned that, right? Because she was like, nobody didn't care to look at my senior picture until like that reunion. I guess also because like. Because one reunion, she was like, name one thing that was big in the 90s? And I just said, you. So probably she lost a lot of weight since that reunion. She was quite juicy back then. She was a juicy individual. And she lost a lot of weight. I don't know how she did it, but good on her. I'm proud of you, babies. So to make fun of my permed out hair, it almost seems natural.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't natural. Yeah.
I haven't been to any of my high school reunions. I'm just like, I just refuse to go to any of those.
A lot of people are like that, Sareth. Like some of my good friends, I'm like, one guy, I remember he didn't go into the high school reunion, like the first 10-year one. He didn't go in. He just hung out outside because he gained a lot of weight. I saw him like this one, but I didn't recognize him. So maybe doing like Ozempic or whatever, or he got the belly thing, but he's a lot skinnier. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now you want to show up. That time you was hanging outside like Fat Abbott in the gang, and now you want to come in. And you're like, okay, because he looks great now. Pat looks great, So I get it. The other people and everything. I guess I was like very quiet in high school, so they see me, they're all talkative. That's just something in itself, And like I said, somebody still say titty meats. They do. They follow me on Facebook.
Yeah. It'll be like 2 years, 2 more years, and I'll be at my 25th anniversary high school reunion.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be do 10 and 10, and then they start doing like 5-year increments at that point.
Because everyone dies.
They die a lot. Yeah, that list is getting bigger. So that was crazy. We had a table of all the people who like passed away. They had the high school senior pictures on them. I was like, oh, I didn't know that guy passed away. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he passed away. I'm like, oh. And that's what happens, we're getting up there in age, so that's what's going on. And it's funny. I think it was like Dunn, one of the comics. He's like, I saw your high school picture with your hair permed down, and I told him I wanted an afro. He was like, look at mine, Erick. I'm like, oh, he had an afro. I'm like, but you was in the 70s. That was normal. You was wearing bell bottoms in your fucking photo. Like, what are you thinking? Like, that was good. You was scuba doing the gang. It was fun. And it's like, I wanted an afro in the 90s. My parents said no.
Yeah.
In the 70s, it was cool. So
it's like you're from Hannibal Collins to Cat Williams.
Yeah, but I think it's Sareth, if you could go, then go. Like, that's what I like to tell people. It's like, it's not like it's terrible because everybody's going like what I heard was like, I asked my friends like, how's the kids doing? They go, oh, one's going to college right now. It's like, how's the house? How's things going? Like, I had some friends that actually lost some of their kids and stuff like that too. So. Don't go out and talk to them, send my condolences like in person and stuff because we don't see each other unless they're right there. So, and it's just good because some of them they're like outcasts and golf kids. So I was like, let me go talk to these people. I'd rather talk to them. I don't want to talk to these nerds. I mean, like these high class preps and stuff. I want to go get a beer and sit with like the golf kids instead. Like I just rather, and I say golf kids, the golf adults. I'm sorry. They used to be golf and everything and stuff, like very morbid and quiet and weird looking and stuff. So like now that they're adults, I'm like I rather just hang out with these people. So it was good. Like I think everybody all come out of their shell as they get older. So I think it's one of those weird things where I know that you might have got thrown into a locker or something, but now I'm bigger than most of them. They could try if they want to, but they got to meet these meats.
Oh, those meats.
Yeah, what I'm talking about.
Oh, Eric. So I think that's all the questions I have. I mean, we've been on for like 2 hours already.
It's been a fun 2 hours, man. I love talking to you. I feel like this
Likewise,
is just very
likewise.
relaxing. Yeah.
Yep. And go support Eric with all that he's doing. All the links are in the description box below. So listen to his podcast and see Winnie the Pooh on all the covers.
Yeah, I'll give you a link to, yeah, if you go to the Facebook page, look for all the Winnie the Poohs. You'll see a big communist China flag, and after that right there, you let me know. You should see a Winnie the Pooh in every single artwork.
Indeed. And thanks for all the video games and all that good stuff. And it's
I love doing it. Yeah, so well, thanks
yeah.
for having me, sir. And I hope that you get some more video games from me in your future.
Oh,
So
I hope so too.
yeah.
I'll reach out. I love Ninja Turtle stuff, so those are just fun.
I'll try to see what I can do to program a little something extra in there for you.
Thank you, Sugar. Awesome. Give it up for Eric and everyone that tuned in. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Stand Speakeasy. Be well, everyone. Take care of each other. Peace.